Hello and welcome to episode 68 of In PS We Trust, a PlayStation podcast. My name's Davey and joined with me as always, and actually, to my right,
Jeez.
the fine wine himself, Mr. Philip Hoy.
Hello, hello. Happy Friday, listeners. We're back again.
Happy Friday,
Happy
baby.
Friday.
And, of course, the Beta Ray Bill of the podcast, the Beta Ray bitch over there, Spencer Davis. How the hell are you, my friend?
I'm good. I don't understand the reference, but I'm good.
Oh, it's the Thor character with like the horse face.
Oh, I do understand. Yeah. He was in
Yeah.
the animated film they did.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. The reason why I was thinking about Beta is last episode you were saying you were a wolf, like you were the alpha of the pack.
I was.
So I thought I'd start off strong by putting you down immediately, putting you back in your place as the beta. Just putting that out there.
He has one
Sure.
good night of Call of Duty, and this is what happens.
I know the big dick's out. Right, listeners. Well, we have got a stacked show for you today, as we do every single episode of In PS We Trust. But today is different. Today is a different kettle of fish. It's a different beast, if you will. And the reason for that is because we now have confirmation that a PlayStation showcase is imminent.
Ooh.
Oh yeah. Coming out the same day as this episode. But if we've done our job properly, you should have it a day earlier. We'll see how that goes when we actually get there. But this episode we're going to be talking through our predictions for that PlayStation showcase, doing it in the same normal format that we use, which is safe, possible, and crazy, as well as just discussing some of the possible IPs that we could see across that showcase. Should be a good old time. And of course, Rumour has it is coming back. We got 2 fresh hot rumours straight off the rumour mill and a stack of news for quick news. So we've got a lot to go through. But before we get to any of that, we always start each episode of In PS We Trust off with a question. Today, that question falls on me. Now, I was thinking, guys, life, it's a strange old mistress, isn't it?
Right, where's this going?
We're born and we die.
Yeah. Okay, I
Quite
can agree with you
straightforward,
so far.
Yeah.
It's what happens to all of us. It comes to all of us, doesn't it? Death knocks on the door. I want to know, what's the worst way you could die? When you're thinking about death, what's the one that's like, not me? I don't want that one. Now, for anyone who can't handle this conversation, just switch off the podcast now. It only gets worse from here.
It's
That's
true.
all I gotta say.
The analytics, the drop-off rate as soon as you pose these questions. If it's a Spencer typical question with all the sexual connotations, people will switch off straight away. This one about death, it's going to be about the same. I mean, last episode we talked about Xbox and we're probably going to get more listeners.
Probably, yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, probably. But, it's what it is. So, does anyone want to start? Or shall I lay you out with what I think is possibly the worst way?
I already know what is the worst way, so I'm going to save mine for last, and so I can prove you guys wrong.
Oh, okay. Mr. Hoy, would you like to go?
All right, then I'll jump in then. Thank you very much. Well, the way I would hate to go is definitely drowning. I think that's a pretty obvious one, right?
Drowning.
Out of all the ways to go is drowning with liquid. I wouldn't want to be in, the pool of fire that we talked about in a couple of previous podcasts. No, just in the water. If you fall off a boat and you can't go anywhere, you just run out of breath, you run out of steam, and you just slowly have to accept death as you take that final breath of water and you choke and die.
Jesus Christ. I think drowning is a bitch death.
Yeah, horrible death.
Drowning is like you just give up.
You have to give up. You can't go on any further.
You can't breathe. I mean, if you can't breathe, you're just a loser, I reckon. So I reckon that's a loser death. I'd say what's worse than that, drowning in water, drowning in jelly.
Jelly.
If you were in jelly, because jelly I imagine is quite hard. It's quite a viscous liquid, isn't it?
Wouldn't you
It's
just
like-
be like stuck in the jelly though?
Yeah.
Almost preserved. So they could crack you open a little bit like,
like a mosquito.
Yeah, well, I was going more down the Captain America route than the mosquito route, but
all
yeah,
right.
very similar.
Yeah,
we could
yeah.
go down the Jurassic Park route. I don't mind. But they could crack you open, you could still be there. You'd still be kind of there or thereabouts, surely. As long as there's an air flow up. If you just tunnel up, push your finger up to the
Through
top,
jelly.
then you'll be all right. You'll just be stuck there and you go,
Actually, yeah, that's true.
it wouldn't be much of an existence, but it would be an existence.
And you could eat the jelly. to keep
You
going.
could eat
Yeah,
your way.
it's
Yeah,
true.
I'm not drinking my way out of an ocean.
No.
No.
Ocean of jelly, though.
Ocean of jelly, possibly.
Jelly.
I could just make myself a little
A little
know,
house.
a little divot in there.
Yeah, little igloo like
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, and then start building my own bricks of jelly, and then
Okay.
I've got my own jelly world.
jelly rapture underneath
Start
the ocean.
monetizing it at that point. I could actually one up that as well.
Go
If
on.
you think drowning in jelly or water's bad, drown in a pool of your dad's semen.
And we're back, listeners. We are back.
Welcome here. If this is your first episode of In PS We Trust, this is just normal now at this point. How long would it take for your dad to ejaculate that much that you could drown in it? You think about I think about my own ejaculate, right? It's maybe maybe a teaspoonful. Depends on how long it's been, right? From jacking it
You would ejaculate onto a teaspoon.
No, I'm guessing.
Oh, okay.
I'm guessing for measurements. Yeah.
Right. You don't want to spill any. Be very careful, wouldn't you?
Got to put that in my tea.
I'm
Protein
not-
fix.
I'm not having a cup of tea round yours.
I am.
Dear. Yeah. So how long would this ejaculate death take? I mean,
Depends.
Yeah, it depends how
This-
you're positioned. Because if you're
Nah.
face down in it, it probably wouldn't need to be that much. You could drown in quite a small amount of liquid, couldn't you?
True.
When you take that breath in. It would just have to be a mouthful, surely.
I mean, it's a lot. I'm trying to think for it to cover your entire nose, mouth, and enough to make you drown. It's got to be quite a bit of cum, doesn't
Come.
it?
I thought you meant like how long would it take him, and I was going to say situational because if you do it yourself, so sometimes it's just a bit of a teaspoon, if you will.
Yeah,
If you've just had intercourse for some reason, there's more.
yeah.
So he
True.
could do the strat of have a bang, tactical pull out into the pool, and then I think it'd triple. You'd get it done in a third of the time, I reckon.
Okay. So, yeah. I mean, it's
Still
a
take
slow-
about 60 years.
It's a slow, antagonizing death, isn't it? You'd probably die of starvation first.
Yeah,
Well, you wouldn't want to eat your way out of that, would you?
exactly.
No.
Exactly.
No.
You'd have to though.
Yeah.
You'd have to.
You'd have
Oh, well. At this point, do I want to live or do I want to die? I'm breathing in my dad's cum. Is this the point where I think, do you know what, I'm over. I'm done. I don't want to do any more experiments for the podcast. Sorry, Dad. I thank you for joining in, but I'm going to take this one and this is me out.
Yeah, that probably is. Yeah, that's pretty bad. That's
It's
probably
exit time, isn't it?
that's the worst way to die from drowning. 100%. I think in your dad's ejaculate.
Just your dad's. How would you know?
Well, I imagine he's
watching him
dead.
spaff in there. Yeah.
Oh, you've got to watch him do it first. You're not like at a sperm bank and it happens just to tip over on you. You're walking along, minding your own business, and then you walk up. This shelf's a little bit wobbly. You happen to knock it with your elbow, and all this cum just
All I'm thinking
drenches
is,
you.
there's the receptionist out in the lobby, and her cup just starts shaking. She's like, "Not again, not again, get down!" And it just barreled
All the
into.
holes.
Why do
start
they always
freaking get
store it
through
on the
them.
top shelf? That wobbly shelf. Why do they always put it up there?
Everyone that survives that is immediately pregnant.
Male or female?
Yeah, and you have no idea whose baby it is because it's just gallons of sperm.
Well, it's all
It's
the
everyone's
mixture.
baby,
yeah,
mate.
yeah, maybe that's how you get like a superhuman thing. It's like a perfect, like
Perfect human.
it's just a mix of everything. Yeah,
Ooh.
comes out like rainbow color.
I feel like we've derailed this far too much, right?
Yeah.
As Spencer, do you want to dive in with your?
No, Davey
Oh,
first.
Davy's going
what's
to go
your
first.
method?
Okay, because this has got pretty dark pretty quickly, and I don't want to go any
Yeah.
further.
Let's ruin
Yeah.
Davy's
Yeah.
method. Let's ruin his.
All right. So mine, I'm thinking, I'm a big fan of the Terminator, and the way they kill the Terminator in Terminator 1 is they put him in like a press, like a hydraulic press,
Okay.
so he gets crushed.
Mhm.
And I'm thinking like crushed deaths must suck because it goes on for like a bit of time where you could feel like everything going. We're like, oh, it's getting a bit tight. This, that's a bit tight. And then you start fighting against it, and then before you know it, you're just like, and just your head just like,
You become toothpaste.
yeah, and that's got to be bad. Like surely, if you could get it so your head's just under there and your head just gets crushed immediately, probably no pain. Probably quite a nice way to go in the grand scheme of horrible ways. But if it was like you're just putting it, like on the Terminator, just for context, he's lying down, arm out like this, it's great. and then it crushes like all over, and it's quite it's a slow crush.
Right.
So I imagine you'd live for like a good 30 seconds of being crushed before you're paced.
Are you face up or face down?
He is kind of just like this, and it's crushing from above.
Crushing from above.
Yeah.
So your feet are on the ground, your head's touching the crusher,
Yeah.
and it pushes you down.
Yeah, and so you just like...
And you couldn't just crawl out.
He couldn't, no. He had no
couldn't.
legs.
Oh, right. Have we got legs
Yeah,
in this
no
situation?
Yes.
Okay.
I imagine it's a long press, though. You know, like on Indiana Jones, where he's trying to get through that door, and he
Yes.
just makes it and gets the hat.
Yeah.
He doesn't make it this time, though.
Okay.
It's like in this Indiana Jones where he's actually got arthritis in both knees, and he ain't making that now.
So it's almost like when we were in that COD raid, I just pressed that button a little too quickly as you pushed that
Yeah.
thing through, and it just caught you
Yes.
and crushed you.
Yeah, exactly like that.
Okay.
So that's what I reckon. I reckon that's the worst way, because you know you're a goner. There's nothing you can do about it, and it's just. And when they find you, they're like, God, it's just mush. Like, get the bucket, Jimmy. Oh, not me again. I'm on crush duty. Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. That's the worst.
Easy burial, though.
Very easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Flat grave.
just chuck it on the flowers.
You're already crushed.
Yeah, he's just liquid at this point.
Yeah. Simple. At least with mine, I'm just a floating body in the ocean.
Yeah.
So they then need to cremate me, unless I have a ocean burial, which would be ironic, really.
and you swell, don't you, if you're not found for a while?
Really?
So you come out and you'd be like giant. You'd be like, and they'd be like, oh, no wonder he put on a bit of weight, that Phil, didn't he?
A fat, bloated Phil
Yeah.
floating in the ocean, wishing for an ocean burial.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
And you're a flat Davey after being crushed.
Yeah, just totally gone. Eviscerated. Total extinction event. The crush. If something wanted to wipe out Earth, I think the most efficient way of doing it would just
Giant
be
hydraulic press.
just turns up.
Just sandwiching the earth.
Yeah, and just squishes it. That's the easiest way. And then all it would be is just crust spill out the middle. So it would be lava, like an ocean of lava would just like a donut. You know, if you squidge a donut and like jam just comes out the end, it'd be like that with lava. So if someone did survive and they got ejected out into space, the lava's coming. So there's no
die in space first, but yeah.
Double death there.
It's a double death, yeah.
No one can hear you scream.
True.
When that lava's coming through you and you're holding your breath and,
In zero
and you're
gravity.
freezing out there.
You'll be wanting the heat at first, wouldn't you? The lava would be coming, you'd be like, oh God, thank God it's cold up here in space.
Well, it depends which way you're going. If you're going towards the sun,
Oh,
it might be hot from both sides.
Yeah.
it'd take a while
roasting.
to get there. Yeah, it might take a while to get there. But yeah, so that's my worst. That's my worst. Spence, lay it on us then, if you think you got the proper worst way.
Yeah. I've thought this for years as well. You would think
For years.
years. I've thought about this before.
Just at home. I wonder what the worst way to die is.
Genuinely. You'd think my biggest fear and the way I wouldn't want to go would be drowning because I can't swim. And we mentioned that a lot. We still haven't taught me how to swim yet, listeners and watchers, but it's on the agenda. We'll do it at episode 100. I don't know. But the actual worst way to go is being lit on fire. 100%. Because whilst your entire body is burning from the fire, that's not what actually kills you. You're just in agony with your body on flames and you die from choking on the smoke. That's what kills you.
No
you
way.
You die from choking on the smoke before the fire can even burn your whole body.
Depends which way up you are.
I suppose.
If you're upside down when you're burning, the smoke ain't going to get you.
That's the way to do it. That's how you
That's
survive.
how you get away with it. That's how you die from the fire.
I'd rather die from the smoke, I think, to be fair.
Again, cheap burial.
Well, you're already cremated.
Already
cremated.
cremated. It's a 2
Gust
for 1
of wind
deal.
comes
It
by
is.
and you're done.
They must love that. Yeah, exactly. They've already spread his ashes already.
They must love that. Who? The people that cremate people. They're like, well, this would die to fire.
This is great.
There we go. We can charge for doing nothing.
We don't have to put the incinerator on.
There we go. Invoice already written. Done.
all we-
Send, sealed, and delivered. Send it out.
All we do is we just close the curtain. We just close the curtain. It goes down, and Bob's your uncle. You can have it immediately. The quickest service you ever had. Here's your ashes, love.
Wow.
Yeah, it does suck, and I suppose the thing about being set on fire as well is that you get to see, or you get to learn firsthand, if the truth is that human flesh cooked smells like bacon. That's what they say. It's like pork.
Is it?
Apparently, Yeah, we're really close to
What
pigs.
blogs do you read?
Yeah, who's they?
I don't know. It.
Heard it through where? The grapevine?
yeah, just around.
Okay.
Yeah, just around. Just the internet. And yeah, apparently so. So you could smell
Those
yourself.
other friends he's got, Spence.
Yeah.
And
Those
this is,
dodgy ones.
this is the only thing that might make it slightly better than some of the other ways, like drowning in ejaculate. Is
Mine was water.
yeah. Is you get that smell and you'd be like, oh, I like bacon. And you'd be like, it was true. And then
I don't know if that really is how it works, because your nose and mouth, your lungs would be full of the smoke. I don't think you'd really even be able to smell it. You'd be too busy going whilst your bloody body's on fire, burning.
Whenever I see people on fire in movies, it's always just screaming.
Yeah, but come on.
So is it the fact that the screaming is the last bit of air they had? So maybe if they'd held their breath, they would have probably been all right.
What would your last words be if you're not screaming?
Oh, fire!
Well,
Shit,
I think
I'm
most
on
people can
fire.
see that, can't they? Doesn't light travel faster than sound? So surely they can see you're on fire before you go in, excuse me, mate, I'm on fire.
I'd be like, where's the fucking water?
I'm drowning in it.
Yeah.
I've got too much water.
This planet's 70% water or whatever, and I can't
And
find
30%
anything.
fire.
Yeah.
Time away.
5% jelly.
Essentially, 1% ejaculate.
Yeah, it's a bad way to go, isn't it?
106% of that earth.
Yeah. And just outside the earth, hydraulic press.
Yeah, it's ready for you.
Really.
I think you'd want to make sure with the fire that you go out in a cool way. Like you either go out in you want blazing glory,
Burning car, burning plane.
something cool.
Yeah.
Something cool.
yeah.
And-
Something with fire already on it. You know,
The
like
burning ring
cars
of fire.
have fire symbols on it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Imagine that, but actually on fire again.
like
Double fire.
like Ghost Rider's motorbike. That's what you want.
Yeah.
That's what you want to be riding,
Yeah.
and then
Yes.
you set on fire
Yes.
with it.
Yeah.
And you want something as well. This is the only thing against fire being the worst is that you can make quite a good pun out of it. You know when they're doing the vicar or whatever is doing the cremation, and
I don't
he's
think
doing
he
the
does
service.
the cremation.
He's doing the service.
Again, these funerals you've been going to, quite cheap ones.
Yeah,
The vicar's doing the cremation as well.
You get it all in. It's a package deal, and
One guy does it all.
he does it all. He does the whole
Does the
job.
flowers, does the
He
food,
does it all. Yeah.
does the ceremony, right? Yeah, okay.
And what you wouldn't want him to be up there and he'd be like, well, here is a blazing end. You know, you can make some good puns out of. You can make some good puns out of this. And what if somebody enjoyed playing with fire like an arsonist and they burned to death? They'd enjoy being set on fire. Whereas nobody likes drinking water
No,
so much
I
that they
think-
drown.
I think they'd
Or-
be like,
but some
why did I
people-
do this? When they're on fire, they'd be like, no wonder people hate me. No wonder I was in prison for 30 years.
Hmm,
But some people like being crushed.
Yeah.
they do.
There is that on the internet, isn't there?
There is.
And if you want a pun for that, you're a Davey sandwich, mate.
Oh, yeah.
I think we might have a winner.
Yeah, I think drowning wins.
Why?
Because we're not making any puns out of drowning, so it's obviously the worst way. Because you can't even make a pun out to lighten the situation.
Is that really-
Listeners, if you do come up with a pun about drowning, please send it into the podcast and we'll read it out on the next episode.
So, with that, listeners, time for us to move the show on to what we've been playing.
This time on NPS We Trust, what have the boys been playing?
So, guys, it's been 2 weeks since the last podcast, and I'm desperate to know what you've been up to in that time. Tradition states we always start with yourself, Spence. Lay it on me.
Okay, so I've actually been playing quite a bit of random stuff this
Okay.
time. So there's the traditional games we always play, but we won't talk about those just yet. What I have been playing lately, I've gone back to Returnal.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Fantastic game, mind. What an excellent game. And I've gone back to it because realistically, I'm so close to the trophy. Just maybe a month or two ago, I was grinding World 2, which, as you've said, Davey, is the hardest world to finish.
100%.
Yeah. And I finished it. And then, I think the same day, I finished World 3.
Okay.
And then the other night, I finished World 4.
Oh.
I was looking for ages, couldn't find the next cipher in World 4. Started a new run. It was in the first room I went in.
That's
I
luck, isn't
was
Oh.
buzzing. I literally, there's the clip of me getting a trophy, and it's just me turning around going, a fantastic little clip. But now I'm on Worlds 5 and 6. I have 1 cipher left in World 5. And I think I have like 5 to get in World 6.
Okay.
But I'm almost there. And
Whoa.
that's going to be a juicer of a platinum when it comes.
And that is going to be a full platinum as soon as you get it. There's nothing else to do.
Nothing else.
Oh, well, I know from experience how much work this is to get this platinum done. And well done. I mean, as you said, getting World 2 out the way, as soon as you get that done, it's on. It's a matter of time then. Because World 2 is a bastard to get done. It's an absolute abject nightmare. And I got to say, I've come on and done a couple of runs with you in co-op. And I'm so sorry that I've been joining you. Because all my skill, all my latent ability has evaporated. And I am terrible at Returnal again. I've been weighing you down. I got the movement tech still. Combat, nah.
Yeah, wasn't there. It wasn't there. I don't know how many times I revived you during the course of those runs.
Yeah,
but it was a few. And the issue is, even then, when you're down, all the enemies are scaled up because there's 2 of us. So I'm fucked too. So you should have been playing something else.
Yeah.
But it was fun. It was still fun whilst you played. I appreciate you joining me anyway. Fun little session. But it was fruitless in the end. We didn't even get a single cipher in any of those runs.
No, I just held you back. I just totally held you back the entire way. So what else have you been playing apart from Returnal? You said you've been playing a hodgepodge.
Yeah. The other thing I've been playing, or the other 2 I've played really, I'll briefly mention one. Last episode, Phil, you posed a question. You said, when was the last time you guys played your PSVR 2? And I was like, oh, he's right. That was a little while ago. A good little while ago. And after a big, massive, heavy night of drinking, when I got back from my holiday I had, the day I got back, I was hungover as hell. And then I had kind of just a burst of energy. And I thought, you know what? Sod it. Sat down, put my PSVR 2 on. Not for too long. I couldn't do it for too long. But I tried it. I played Gran Turismo. Good few races. Fantastic game. And then I tried out the Star Wars game. Tales of the Galaxy, I think it's called.
Okay.
Enhanced edition. And it's bloody solid, mind. It's a really very difficult game. You just die again, and it's like playing Dark Souls in VR with a gun.
And this is nothing to do with you being hungover and deciding to put a VR headset on.
Maybe, but I really don't think so. The way it works is just you've got your gun, your blaster. You can pick up other blasters as well. You can pick up people's enemies. You can have a shotgun, a machine gun, a pistol. You also pick up loads of droids. So you know the training droids that the Jedis used, where they'd shoot lasers at them and they have to deflect? You have those. So you can chuck them in the air and they follow you about and they shoot the enemies. And that's sick. That's really sick. I wasn't using those. And then as soon as I started using them, I was like, oh, it's better. But you die in like 2 shots. And these stormtroopers got accuracy unlike any movie you've ever seen. It's insane. It makes no sense. It's not canon. But it is very fun, and hopefully I'm going to play it more soon.
Nice. Yeah, I'd say, that is brave, going in and putting the VR headset on when you're hungover. Me and Phil done that a couple of times at different events, and it is never a good time. And it's something that I have not been brave enough to attempt since I've had my PSVR 2.
It's a scary thought. It really is.
Yeah, terrible.
Going back to, EGX?
Yeah.
And deciding to put on a VR headset to go down. What was it? It was the original PSVR, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Where you went down in the lift, wasn't it?
It's like a shark cage, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh.
That was work. That was so bad.
He just like, oh.
It's not even a fun experience. You're just there going, for like 10 minutes or whatever it was. I think that's what's put me off VR. It's just that idea. It brings all those memories back. Every time you talk about VR, I just think of myself being overly hungover in a shark tank, just rocking back and forth and just suddenly being jump scared a couple of times by a big great white shark. No.
Yeah, it's
never again.
Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. For me, it's that memory, and I've told it on the show so many times, but getting strapped into a car on GT when it was in demo mode. So you're just in a supercar getting whipped around a track with no control.
Oh, yeah.
That was the worst. That was the worst. They got to stop doing this. Or, alternatively, maybe we shouldn't drink before all these events.
That's never going to change.
That is the dumbest suggestion I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
No go on that one. That's a non-starter for me.
Imagine how much worse insomnia would have been if we didn't have a few drinks.
That's very true.
True.
Yeah, it was
Insomnia
needed
was
there.
Gosh.
Yeah, insomnia was the total opposite of what I had. I was going to sleep there. So it was the complete opposite of what the event was supposed to be. Definitely couldn't have kept me out, that's for damn sure. But fair play, Spence. Some great little games there, and I'll be looking forward to hearing more about PSVR 2 over the coming weeks. Mr. Hoy, what about yourself? What have you been up to?
Well, Davey, I've dived into my back catalogue and picked up Callisto Protocol once again.
Okay.
So I've dived in, and much like you, with diving back into Returnal, when you've had a little bit of a gap in playing the game, I have very much lost all my skill and understanding of how this game works.
Oh, no.
So I loaded myself in. I'm not very far into the game. And let me paint you the picture. So I think it's the part where your buddy's saying, oh, he's got to turn the power off.
Okay.
And you've got all these kind of working machinery around you.
Oh, I know.
And then one guy comes in from your right. Another guy comes in from your left. A spitter pops up from the floor, starts attacking you from range. And part of the skill is keeping yourself alive as you use your kind of force power to move them back into the moving machinery.
That's
and
right.
you basically have to loop them back round, up and over, and through this kind of central doorway, which has twisting blades.
I know exactly.
And you
where
stand
are.
on one side and you can basically pop them and move them forward. But I started off, I thought, we'll just get back into this. Bit of melee. Died on the first guy. I thought, okay, all right. I've got a gun, haven't I? So I thought, shoot him, right? Used all my bullets straight away. I got like 4 bullets. And then I was thinking, how the hell do you play this game? Right? Couldn't remember that I even had these force powers. Right?
Oh, no.
I played so little of it. I think it's quite early on in the game.
Yeah, it is.
And then there's this prompt just at the start that says to hold the trigger and then to press X to throw them, right? So I'm going along, start doing it. And then I realized, actually, the power's run out. And then I was screwed for the kind of the bigger mobs later on.
Yeah.
So yeah, that took me probably about 10, 15 runs
Whoa.
just to get through, just to relearn exactly what I was doing. But after that, it's been quite plain sailing, and I very much enjoyed it. I've forgotten how visceral, and excuse the pun on that one, that game actually is. When you're there attacking those monsters, you genuinely feel like you're there because of the blood and the splatter and the sound and the thump and the haptics.
Oh.
The graphics are incredible. I've forgotten how beautiful this game looks.
Stunning, isn't it?
It's been a hot minute since I've been in there, but relearning that combat, it was a steep slope for myself. But once I got into it, I'm invested again.
Nice.
I'm going to get this
nice.
completed. I'm really going to push through on this one.
Nice. And I'll tell you what, it'd be interesting to hear when you do finish it up and you wrap it up, to hear your thoughts on the overall experience. Because as you know, I wasn't too smitten with it. I enjoyed my time with it, don't get me wrong, but I certainly wasn't wowed. And the longer the experience went on, the more I kind of felt that it was losing me
Sure.
as it plays. So I'm really looking forward to seeing when you actually finish this and what your thoughts are on it. Because a lot of people do swear by it. A lot of people really enjoy it. And as you said, graphically wise, it's phenomenal.
But again, I've only played 2 hours probably
Yeah. So you got probably
back in. So I'm enjoying those 2 hours again, right? It's like starting from the start again. So the first little bit's fun, isn't it? But I think you were very critical on the loop that tends to happen within this game and things being very similar.
That's right.
So yeah, I haven't got to that breaking point just yet, but I'll fill you in next episode.
Nice. I look forward to hearing it. I really will. And I suppose you might be thinking, Davey, what games have you been playing? Nothing but COD. Literally nothing but COD. I don't know what's happened to me these last 2 weeks. I've been insanely unproductive. I thought to myself, I'm going to do loads of YouTube work. I'm going to do stacks of reviews. I'm going to play some PSVR 2. I'm going
Do
to
some shorts for the podcast.
I'm going to do some shorts for the podcast. All this stuff. And then all that really happened was COD just seemed to find its way on. Normally, we wouldn't even talk about COD because we talk about it all the goddamn time. However, the Season 3 Reloaded update happened, which is the mid-season update where they provide fresh content. Part of that update drop was they provided a brand new raid. Now, you guys have always joined me. We've done it together, these raids. This is the third one. And we've come out of the last 2 raids singing their praises. absolutely loving them. I want to know what your thoughts are, and I'll come to yourself first on this, Phil, about the raid for Season 3 Reloaded.
Well, Davey, they just don't miss, do they, in COD? Much like, or much unlike myself, when we're playing the normal multiplayer, because I miss all the time, these developers, these raids, they do not miss because they are excellent. It's well worth the price of admission for myself, because I haven't really indulged the same way as you guys within the COD kind of ecosystem. I haven't played much of the online. I dive in from time to time with you guys just for a bit of a laugh, but generally I'm sort of down the bottom, but hanging in there because, of course, I'm like level 34 and I'm going up against level 200s.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm hanging in there. I'm getting a couple of kills. I'm enjoying myself, especially when I'm blowing people up with mines. But those raids are exceptional. And if you're going to buy the game, just purely for the raids, that price of admission is well worth it because they are superb. I cannot get that over in any other way. They are just incredible. I am loving every second, and I can't wait for the next one because the story is so gripping.
John, this is the thing, that the story mode within it, the story that's actually told through these cutscenes that happen and bookend the raid itself, and sometimes come up in the middle, it's actually decent.
It really is. Yeah. It's so surprising, wasn't it?
Yeah, like you'd think they'd really shit it out. Like, you haven't played the Spec Ops content in this, but it's really lackluster. It really is. It's terrible, actually. It's such a shame. And it's like as if they just said, actually, just put everything we got into these raids, and let's just make them really well produced.
Yeah.
And so you got all the main characters from Team 141 appearing, and it's just a full plot that happens. And what I'm wondering is, when this eventually wraps, whenever it does, maybe we've got 2 more seasons left, is this just going to lead straight into the next COD? What's going to happen here? You know?
Hope so.
This is the thing, because there's a really cool story that's being told throughout this.
Yeah. Possibly they're using this as like the building blocks for the next one to prelude what's going to happen in the next COD.
Potentially. And I mean, the thing about it is that the original raids you needed to have for Season 1 and 2, you needed to have tickets that you could only earn from playing the online play. This season, they've taken tickets away, and they've actually put a shed load of rewards for actually completing the raid. So it seems like they're trying to give more purpose for people to want to go in and check them out. You know, you get a shed load of camos, you get like a really cool, I can't remember what it's called now, Galvatronic skin or something like that. Galvanized skin. And
Galvatron? You've been looking too much at my Transformers behind you, mate. That's what's getting you. Galvatron. It's galvanized.
It's wild. It's wild. It's like all got lightning all going over it. And that's what happens if you complete the veteran raid. So they got these cool little incentives to do it. But, Spence, give me your thoughts on it. You're a COD veteran, same as myself. We've been playing countless hours ever since Modern Warfare 2 came out. Give me your thoughts on this raid.
Well, listen, there's 2 things that you guys and the listeners know I love. Call of Duty and We Were Here. And We Were Here is just chock full of puzzles. That's the entire game. They've mixed the 2 in these raids. The puzzles in these raids are bloody fantastic. They're actually amazing, and they seem to get better with each raid. Because in this one, you mentioned it earlier, Phil, the numbers puzzle. There's just consoles all around a massive room. The floor's electrified, so you can't step on the floor, and there's kind of like bookcases. You just have to climb across and just try avoid the water, and it's a nightmare. It took us probably like 40, 50 minutes, maybe an hour to beat that puzzle, because someone kept forgetting their number sequence, and someone
Numbers
kept
are so
hitting the button
difficult,
early.
aren't they, Davey? They really are.
Four numbers is too much for any man, I think. I don't even know how many numbers it was. Maybe it was 5.
No, it
It
was
was
4
5.
each, wasn't it?
I'm sure
Was
it's
it 4?
5.
4 different numbers, but 5 each. Because I had
You
2
had
repeated. I had the 2
5,
7s, didn't I?
Yeah, you had the 2 7s, but it was 5 numbers total because it was 15 numbers divided by 3.
Ah, well,
But-
this is it.
Listeners,
Too many.
Davey had to note them down on his phone. And then he was like, hang on, boys, give me a second. He went in the settings on his phone and changed the screen lock timer so that it wouldn't close during the thing. Then immediately when we're done, he's like, all right, boys, wait. I got to fix my settings so I don't lose the battery on my phone. Fella was struggling.
There's not many games that you have to do that type of thing, is it? Where
No.
you have to take a screenshot of what's actually happening. I think it was only like Dino Crisis that we had to do that, wasn't it?
100%.
You know, you need a notepad to play Dino Crisis.
Oh, God,
but
yeah.
with these COD raids, you definitely need some way of remembering these very quickly. So the phone was a great solution. It really was.
Yeah, it came in clutch.
We did
In
it on
clutch.
the what was that game we played as well? The Kiwi. We used our phones
Yes.
for as well. Kiwi was solid. That's another great puzzle game. But this raid specifically, it's just fantastic, and it's way different from the first raid. Had a numbers puzzle as well, where you kind of had to decipher the code. This one was just, this is what you do. Good luck, and gave you no time to complete it. Electrified the floor and just bookshelves. It said, try your best. Good luck. This is solid. And what spits in your face is Infinity Ward tell you how fast they completed it as well, whenever you lose. And Infinity Ward did it in 17 minutes. Do you guys remember what our time was?
Oh, I tried to block that out.
About an
my
hour, was
mind.
it?
It was about an hour, 89 minutes.
Oh, I've undersold us.
It was 89 minutes it took us to beat that raid. And I'm sure a lot of it was on that puzzle. And the rest was just us dying. Because they're hard. They're really hard, but that you don't want to stop playing. They're fantastic. I think they are. I think they're my favorite thing in the new Call of Duty.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I totally agree with both of you. I think, honestly, every single raid has been fantastic. And what I thought it was going to be guilty of is the same kind of thing that I always think of with Activision is that, and Call of Duty in general, is that it can be a little lazy. Like, maps that come in, they're generally remastered maps, and they're the same remastered maps that we've seen countless times. It's very rare they kind of dip back into the well of all classics and really give something brand new. And so going into the first raid, I thought, wow, they've sold me on this, got me in. And then the second raid, seeing the puzzles that came from that, like the kind of jumping puzzles that came.
So unique.
So cool, totally different, and it just felt completely different. And to be able to do it again and to have a whole brand new set of mechanics, to be able to use the water in really cool ways. Like there was a puzzle that we had where two players are having to raise pressure vents, and one person's at a console and they have to activate it at a specific time. The way it's set up is that you'll have guards that will come in to that spawn to keep you all on your toes, and then every now and again they'll put a gas injection in which throws everyone in, which you have to get under the water to be able to survive, or they electrify the water, which means you have to get out. And so just having that simple premise
Absolutely
and having
incredible.
one vent be underneath the water and one above it. So one person would die from gas, one person would die from electric. And having to coordinate that between the three of you with threats around is both insane at the time when you're doing it, but when you finally click and it all falls into place, it just feels incredible. And to get that level of feeling from a Call of Duty game is wild.
Mad.
And this to me feels like, and alongside with the one campaign mission called Alive, where you have to craft to be able to survive, and you have to do all this crafting and making brand new weapons on the fly because you've got no guns. It feels like they've taken a lot of extra risks with this Call of Duty and trying to meld quite a few different gameplay styles together. And I do wonder if Infinity Ward are trying something new, in much the same way that we were talking about Horizon and hoping that with the DLC that they'd try something new and really flesh out the combat and everything else that comes with that. I'm hoping that all this is building towards either this year's Call of Duty, which apparently is a continuation from Modern Warfare 2, or it's Infinity Ward thinking, right, what can we do with a co-op campaign for next time? What can we do to bring something in and have like a 3-way or 2-way puzzle-based, cool, really unique campaign? If they do something like that, it would be revolutionary for the series, I think.
I just think they can't lose, and they've got this freedom at the moment, especially with these raids, or particularly with these raids, where they can try the new stuff, right? Because the expectation, I think generally when I've looked online, is relatively low. The uptake, I think most people just want to sit in the multiplayer and continue that grind.
Yeah,
you know, not many people have two good friends to be able to go through and play these games, because I would not want to just join a random crew of people and do this, because it was so frustrating. I literally wanted to tear your head off in parts of these raids, but at the same time I literally wanted to grab you and not kiss you, but just wish you well done.
Oh, I would have liked the kiss.
Oh, well, yeah, maybe after we finish the podcast.
Nice. Yes. Yes.
So you get that full mix of emotions and everything else. But I can't imagine just dropping into a random and just having some guy, talk about your mum on the other end when you're trying to go through the numbers, or you're trying to pass the breathing apparatus as you're trying to navigate underground in the first raid, or trying to time your jumps as you're jumping over the mushrooms in the second raid. It would be impossible and ultimately frustrating. So yeah, listeners, if you're out there, make sure you find 2 people who you trust and get into those raids, because they are superb.
You've heard it here first. That's a glowing review from all 3 of us. And that brings an end to what we've been playing. So let's move it on to the quick news. Quick news.
Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, in PS We Trust proudly brings to you, it is quick news. Okay, so this week we are sticking with the very simplistic quick news impressions, okay? So I'm just going to give you a topic, and the topic of this week is household appliances. Bada bing, bada boom. Ooh. So it could be a Hoover, it could be a microwave, it could be a blender. So which one am I going to pick for Spencer? Because you're going first on this round of quick news. Spencer, I want you to give me an impression of said Hoover.
Oh, Hoover. Okay.
We know he sucks well. We know he sucks so good. He sucks so good.
That's a different kind of suck, this one, though. That one's more like Hoover's diff. Hoover sucks a large amounts,
So remember, you get extra points for being creative here. If you're going to go plug the Hoover in, if you're going to, have the extension fitted to the Hoover.
That's what I'm saying.
You're
spoiling my impression, mate. That's what you got to do, yeah? It's quite annoying, really, because sometimes you get stuck. You got that little... Everyone has a Henry, yeah?
Yeah.
Everyone has a Henry. So you got to pull the... And it goes like... And you go, there we go. Spence, can you plug the Hoover in for me? Yeah, Mum, I got you. And... Get in there. She can't get under the bed. The plug socket's under the bed, so I got to get under there, plug it in.
He's really hamming this up, isn't he?
Done it, Mum.
Suva takes a breath.
all these years at drama college haven't gone to waste.
Yeah,
well invested money.
Quick news, boys. Quick fucking news. Starting off my quick news, lads. Have a guess. What's he doing? What's Spencer known for bringing us? It's the PlayStation Plus catalog. So this time, the catalog for May, it includes big games, by the way. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart for the PS5. Wow. Ooh. Great game. Ooh. I actually saw a article that said the best game on PS5.
Wow, that's wild.
Who wrote that? It wasn't me.
Wild.
Close though.
It's up there, but it's definitely not the best. We also have Humanity, which is a game that we saw a little while ago. You play as a Shiba Inu, controlling kind of just armies, weirdly, kind of just patrolling them to an end goal. It's a very strange game. An extremely strange game, but apparently quite good. 86% Metacritic.
Not bad.
It looks strange, but don't knock it till you try it, I suppose. We also have Watch Dogs Legion, PS4, PS5. And that game has a lower score. But but you're getting it for free, arguably.
It's the same as Metal Gear Solid, isn't it? 6 out of 10.
Jesus. Yes, mate, exactly that.
Jesus Christ.
Well done. One of the best games of all time, then. And the last one we get, another PS4 only game, Dishonored 2, which I didn't like very much, but a lot of people really love. So, great game. And also one of the only Bethesda games we were missing from last month. Because we got loads of Bethesda games last month. We didn't get this. And now we do.
They knew it was coming, didn't they? It's almost like they got this planned somewhere. It's not just random. Yeah. They're not just in the lucky dip going, which game should we pick out this month?
That's what they used to do for the essentials before. 100% is what they used to do. But yeah, now it's a bit structured. So boys, what do you think? We'll keep it quick because we're starting quite late tonight. Keep it brief. You guys excited for these games. Obviously, Phil, you don't. Actually, you do have the service. We buy it for you. What do you think of this list, mate?
I think it's exceptional, but not so exceptional for me because I have Ratchet and Clank Rifts Apart and I have completed it. I have platinumed it. High recommend from me. But the one in that list that really sticks out to me, and I think it will just be dumb fun when we get round to it, is actually playing a bit of Watch Dogs Legions. You know, it could be fun. Just jumping in there for a one-nighter, couple of hours with you boys, maybe, potentially. If we're at a bit of a loss, maybe that would be a fun way to spend the evening. It hasn't got a great review out there for it, and it is a Ubisoft game, and generally we don't like Ubisoft games, so I'm willing to give it a chance. It's a free game.
Yeah. I tell you what, with Watch Dogs Legion, the only thing that was interesting about it was the fact there's a granny. That was all the trailers were. It was the granny blowing up stuff. She was like a secret covert agent.
That gets you in, does it?
It does, yeah.
Okay.
Seeing like an agent who's retired coming back with a proper, like, cup of tea, governor, English accent, and, you know, swearing, kind of gets me in the door.
Strange you didn't like Atomic Heart then.
Yeah, well, yeah.
There's a swearing granny in that.
Too much for a good thing.
It got spoiled, didn't it?
It got spoiled, yeah. Too much of it, too much. But yeah, for me, looking at this list, obviously we've only kind of gone through the highlights here. There's a very expansive list, and especially when you got things like the PlayStation Premium editions, with some nice little games in there, but we are keeping this a little bit shorter just for this episode because we do have so much to go through. For me, the standouts here, if you haven't played it already, is Dishonored 2. Dishonored 2 is one of those games that is an absolute masterpiece. There's no other words for it. It's exceptional. I earned the platinum. I know, Spence, you weren't a massive fan of this game, but Dishonored doesn't really do it for you anyway, does it?
Oh, I love Dishonored 1.
Oh, did you? It was just Dishonored 2 didn't work for you for whatever reason.
I found Dishonored 2 really boring. Yeah, but Dishonored 1, I adored it.
What is it? Is it a difference in powers? Is it the way that the environments are a little bit more kind of open-ended and they're a bit more intricate than the first game? Was there anything in particular that didn't work for you?
Nothing. There was nothing on the nose. Like, there wasn't anything specific I could say that really put me off it. It was just, I just never found it fun.
Wow.
Well, in my time of playing it. Whereas Dishonored 1, it's like, this game's sick the entire way through. And Dishonored 2, I was just like, I don't know. I think it changed too much without expanding enough, in a way, if you know what I mean, for me.
Did you make it to the Clockwork House?
I think so. I played it when it came out. I haven't played it since.
Okay. Because there's an area you go into, and it was the part that I think at the time they were really hyping up on trailers and kind of everything else. And the way it works is you go into this environment, and throughout the time you're exploring around this map, it's made like a clockwork puzzle, and so everything's moving and changing, and so when you're moving around the environment, it might be safe one time, and then you go back through the door and the configuration's completely different.
Okay.
And now there's a load of enemies in there, or there's just different things there, and they're full of these kind of like clockwork enemies that you can disable, but I don't think you can kill them. You can kind of like disable them, and then they kind of reconfigure and re-come back online.
Reanimate.
It's been a while since I played it, mind, but all I know is that Dishonored 2 to me felt like a natural progression of Dishonored, and the story isn't quite as good, I don't think, as the first game, but it's an interesting tale nonetheless. And it's great to be able to see the difference in powers. Now you're playing as Corvo's daughter, which was a really nice touch. Great game, thoroughly recommend it. And for those that have a PSVR 2, the other choice here is Humanity. So Humanity, you can play it, it's PS4, PS5, kind of everything. But if you've got VR, it opens up a brand new way to be able to perceive the world and the puzzles, and apparently it's the best way to play. So if you do have that, highly recommended. I know that Lurian, listener of the show, he was raving about it on Twitter. I haven't had the opportunity and the chance. Well, I have. I've just been playing COD, trying to improve my KD ratio like a goddamn loser. I haven't got round to this yet. I will at some point. Don't know when. And at this point, with everything we got coming out now, Street Fighter in a couple of weeks, I'm not even going to say I'll get to it soon, because it probably won't happen. But I will get to it. It definitely will be one that will get downloaded, and eventually I'll give you a write-up on it. But those are my two picks out of this list for sure.
Lovely stuff. For me, lads, I'll keep it very brief. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, platinumed it. Not going to touch it. No need. Humanity. I would like to give it a go. Now that I know there's a PSVR 2 mode, I think I'll definitely quite keen to give it a go. It seems like kind of just a weird little puzzle game. And I love puzzles. We've said this. I adore puzzles. So I'm happy to give that a little go. Watch Dogs Legion. I actually love Watch Dogs 1 and 2.
Oh,
I really like the Watch Dogs games.
Wow.
I actually really like them. Mainly, I always found hacking cool and stuff. Never bothered to do anything with it. Never looked into it or anything. But the idea of hacking is just really cool. And I think they do it well in the games. And I just like them. I think they're great. I beat Watch Dogs 1 in a day.
Wow.
Sat on my computer and just grinded it. And I adored it. And then Watch Dogs 2, I got like 80% through. And I dropped off. But that's just because I got busy. Not because I wasn't enjoying the game. I would be quite keen to try this one out. And if it is multiplayer and stuff, then let's get on it, boys. Great time. Dishonored 2, maybe I'll try it again. Maybe. But I won't. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
I won't. I got Street Fighter 6 is like next week, man. Come on.
Yeah,
what,
true.
What are we on about? Absolutely not. I ain't playing any of these games. Street Fighter 6 is in like a week away.
I know.
Be real, listeners. What you thinking? But yeah, that's my list, I suppose. So lads, moving on. I'm going to be passing it to you, Davey.
Okay, bring it on.
And for you, the household appliance. What a category, mine. Fantastic
right?
little genre. That's sick. I would like to hear, and this definitely counts as a household appliance, by the way.
Okay.
A base PS4 at the end of the generation trying to run Warzone.
Okay. Would you class a console as an appliance?
I wouldn't, but I'm going to let it ride.
Okay. Gonna let it ride.
Yep.
Okay.
Because I want to hear it.
All right. Let's go for it. So, you're getting in from a hard day's work. Sit down. Oh, I can't wait to play Warzone with the boys tonight. Press your button. Beep. You get a nice bass bit of fan with the PlayStation, no matter what. Get onto COD. Click that Warzone button. Shit, look at that guitar! Get on! Welcome to the gulag, brother. And then it starts again. It's the cutscene. The cutscene stops it. Yeah. Quick news. Oh, boys. Oh, have I got some quick news for you today? Yesterday, from the day of us recording, a brand new trailer came out. And it was a trailer that we were expecting because Ed Boon, bless his gorgeous soul, was posting out on Twitter that it was time. It was coming. Mortal Kombat 12, aka Mortal Kombat 1. Now, this trailer was about 2.5 minutes long, and it was mostly a CG kind of trailer. However, it did have some gameplay elements that were there for the keen eye. But the interesting thing about this, for those that maybe don't know the story of Mortal Kombat, the way Mortal Kombat 11 ended was Liu Kang being given the powers of a god. And through that, he defeated Kronika, I believe that was her name, and decided to reset the timeline, to be able to shape it in his image. And what this looks like with Mortal Kombat 1 is that things aren't right in this new dimension. In this new timeline, they're not acting the way they should. Now, for keen eyes of Mortal Kombat, they'll know straight away that this isn't just some way to be able to scrub the timeline clean and just redo everything that's done before. It's not like a remake.
It's not a flash moment, is it?
It's not a flash. Well, it's kind of like a Flashpoint moment. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's more down that line. It's more
exactly that. Yeah,
it's more down that line because what you've got is you've got old enemies that at the start of the franchise hated each other, i.e., Scorpion and Sub-Zero, with the two separate clans. You got the Lin Kuei and whatever the hell Scorpion's clan is. I can never remember, but they're friends in this. Ooh. Very interesting. You got Melina and Katana working together. You got it's wild, absolutely wild. The thing for me that makes me go crazy about this, though, that gore, that goddamn gorgeous gore, and it was wild. It was absolutely. It made me feel that we're like, just seeing some of the disgusting shit, especially putting thumbs through eyes is savage. It's absolutely savage. Now, before I get your thoughts on this, guys, so a couple of the key details that we do know about this. Coming out September 19th, so we don't have long. If you pre-order it, depending on the version that you go for, you can get early access. And that also means if you pre-order it, you get access to Shang Tsung, new character. Now, there's quite a few different versions of this. I'm not going to run through all of them, but the crazy thing is that if you want to get a head start on other people, it kind of pays to pay because you get access to DLC characters 5 days early, access to the game 5 days early. So you get quite a bit of a running start with this. It's a bit scummy from Warner Bros.
Sounds like it, yeah.
And the thing is, it's got, just like the other Mortal Kombat's, it's got inbuilt game currency. Mm-hmm. So you earn so much of this currency to start with from some of these more expensive versions, which I assume you can use to purchase cosmetics. I'm hopeful, and they haven't confirmed this or not, I'm hopeful they do away with the whole gear system. That was a big part of Mortal Kombat 11, because that gear was annoying. And it also meant that when you got to tournaments and stuff, it kind of threw off balance. There was a tournament mode in there which would strip out all this gear, but it's kind of just annoying, and it's there purely to drive cosmetics and resale value and selling stuff through the store. So we don't know about that. But final piece that's interesting about this before I chuck it over to you guys: this isn't a traditional Mortal Kombat in the way that it's a 1v1. It's not just a 2D fighter or a 3D fighter like Mortal Kombat has been. This is the time when we're going down the same avenue as Marvel vs. Capcom 1, where you pick your main character and you pick a cameo character who is an assist. Mm-hmm. So it means the game has got a full assist system. So you pick your character from a roster, and then you've got a separate roster entirely, which is the cameo characters. So they're not fully playable characters, but it's a good way to include people that otherwise wouldn't be in there. Very, very interesting. And of course, it couldn't be Mortal Kombat without it being some DLC rumors. And the DLC rumors are Homelander from The Boys.
Really?
Peacemaker.
So John Cena is going to be in it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so quite a lot of information for Mortal Kombat already out there. And this is only the initial reveal. We got a lot more to go, according to Ed Boon, in the next couple of months. What are your thoughts on this trailer? Have you seen it, Phil?
I have seen it, and we are getting close to the golden age, aren't we?
We are.
Of fighting games. We are literally spoilt for choice. A new Street Fighter, a new Tekken, a new Mortal Kombat. Where are we going to find the time? I don't have enough time for one of these games, let alone 3.
I know.
Impossible, right? But Mortal Kombat obviously has a story and a single-player game that is actually interesting to play.
Yeah,
unlike Street Fighter of the past, okay?
Yeah.
So potentially I may buy Mortal Kombat to play that, but going down the competitive route, learning this game, I'm not going to have time because my focus is going to be Street Fighter. That's the one I've chosen out of the 3. But you're right, this game looks superb, and that gore, it brings back those feelings when I had the 32X in my Mega Drive and I was playing the original Mortal Kombat and I put on the blood as a child and I did that uppercut and that blood splurt out and I was like, oh, look, we've done something naughty here. There's blood on the screen. This is why it was an 18. And that's what I love about these games. Incredible stuff.
What about yourself, Spence? What are your thoughts on the trailer, on the gameplay decisions, kind of your thoughts overall on Mortal Kombat 1?
Sure. So initially, my first thought I had was, what a stupid title. Absolutely terrible title. We go from 11 to 1. And I understand it's because it's reset. I understand. But I still think it's a terrible title. Just call it Mortal Kombat. If you're going to call it Mortal Kombat 1, no one says 1. Except for the Xbox One. And you don't want to be an Xbox. Terrible.
Yeah, it's got a point there,
It does, yeah.
Yeah, I can get behind that one.
Yeah,
down with that.
Down with it. Terrible decision making. But the game itself looks absolutely sick. The graphics, it looks like, I understand they were CG cutscenes, but Mortal Kombat has always done this thing of transitioning from cutscene to gameplay very, very smoothly. And if the gameplay looks anything like those cutscenes did, it will be the most beautiful game on the PS5, because that looked insane. And then you chuck the gore in as well, like you were saying. The issue is the gore, I've always just thought, oh, that's cool. And like you said, Davey, this time I was a bit like, because it looks so real. The graphics are so nice that the gore is actually disgusting. It's not just cool and bloody for the sake of being bloody now. Now it's like, oh my God. There's going to be censors everywhere.
I kind of hope listeners don't just tune in at this point. Midway through that conversation, and you two are just going...
They're like, they'll be like, oh, yeah, talk about Mortal Kombat.
Talk about Mortal Kombat 1.
They'll know straight away. They'll know.
But you got to think that every time we've had tournaments, like in MK11, there were tournaments. Whenever a fatality or a crushing blow or anything happened, they had to change a filter so that it went black and white because they couldn't have the gore. And now this gore is like dialed up to 11, man. Tournaments are going to have a black screen. They're going to be like, we can't show this.
I wonder, and this is something that I've been wondering about quite a lot. Monetizing Mortal Kombat content, if you're on YouTube, Twitch, anything like that, is a nightmare. It's a minefield. Because you've got all the gore, you've got all the blood, you've got all the like eviscerations, cuts, everything else. X-ray attacks that show bones breaking and snapping or bollocks literally exploding from being punched in them. Are you thinking, in this world at the moment where we're in, where if you're scared of spiders, you can turn on arachnophobia mode so it doesn't have spiders in it, where you can really change how disgusting the game is. Like, I think about Dead Space Remake. It had an option on there to turn off the really gory part. So
yeah,
there's a part in Dead Space Remake where you're walking down a corridor and there's a miner on the Ishimura bashing his head into the side of a wall. Really haunting. And as soon as you get close, he does the finishing blow and just slides down it really slow. It's horrible.
It's awesome.
It's amazing. Do you think they'll go down that route with this and add that level of accessibility? Or do you think they'll say, nah, this is Mortal Kombat, this is the game's identity, no chance?
There's also some very scantily clad women in this. Do you think they're going to have an option to put some clothes on them as well? If they're going to be, I can turn the blood off, I can turn it back on. These women, get some clothes on because it's too much.
Well, the last Mortal Kombat, there was a lot of pushback from the community because they did start to go down that route.
Really?
Yeah,
I did not know this.
Yeah.
This is quite funny.
So a lot of people, all these weebs were really upset that certain characters who normally, like, for example, Jade's always just got massive boobs and she's wearing bugger all.
Class.
In this, she was
Did I say I was getting Street Fighter?
So I don't know with that one. I mean, yeah, I'm not sure. I imagine it's not going to be the same level that it was in like MK10, where it was wild, and MK9, and it was just insane.
Oh, they were
tits
insane.
and ass galore. Yeah, it was wild.
It was a Dead or Alive game. It's mental.
So I imagine there's a restraint on that to a certain extent, but still be, just like Street Fighter is, we're still very sexualized. The men are really buffed up, the women are hot as hell. They're fees. Unless you fancy Devora, which is literally a bug lady, in which case you need help.
That's the one we were talking about.
Oh yeah, she'll give you that kind of head that will blow your mind. That bug head.
She'll give you the good stuff.
Yeah, she'll give you that nod. You'll be like, oh God, tie me up in that web. But yeah, what are you thinking about this then? Are you thinking that they're going to go down an accessibility route with this, or no chance?
I think 100%. Previous games, they've always kind of done this, right? Go back to the 32X version of Mortal Kombat, you could turn the blood on and off. So why wouldn't they? They're getting complaints, and we're getting more PC these days, aren't we? Especially with all the streamers and everything else that's going on Twitch. And it only just has to happen once, and then people lose their shit on Twitter, don't they, about, oh, they're showing too much of this, they're showing too much of that. So they have to account for this stuff at the moment, don't they? If they didn't, I would find that absolutely crazy, but MK, maybe with Ed Boon, still at the stern, he's the kind of guy just to say, fuck it, actually, leave it all in.
Yeah.
So it could go either way. I'm sitting on the fence there.
All right. What about yourself, Spence? What are you thinking?
I think Ed Boon's a legend, but also, yeah, I very much agree with you, Phil. I think the issue is if you leave everything in, people are going to kick off because be like, this game's disgusting, all this. If you take everything out, the fans are going to kick off. If you put the option to have it off, win-win. People are going to complain anyway, and then just the comments below it are going to be, just go into settings. There's a switch. Just hit that switch, and she's wearing a top now.
Hit that switch, and she's wearing no top.
It's the booby
Isn't it?
button.
Yeah, great button. Great button. Bloody, yeah, just, we've always said choice. Always have more choice. And I don't see why they wouldn't. It wouldn't be hard to implement at all. Just chuck it out.
The only thing, right, and the only benefit I think to this is because the game markets itself on its gore, on its outrageousness. The only benefit I can see to them having this option would be that people can actually provide content for it, not be scared of doing content for Mortal Kombat. And that would be the benefit, is you get the advertisements, you get channels that can really grow and focus on Mortal Kombat and not have to worry about, I have to blur this, I have to stop this, I can't do this fatality, I can't do this, I can't do that. Whereas it opens the floodgates for that. But if any of the mechanics are like MK11, where you had like X-ray moves, things like that, you couldn't change that, really. Other than if you had it go into an X-ray mode and nothing happens. I guess that would work and it would still serve the same purpose. Oh, I guess they can, yeah. I'm kind of undoing my own
it
argument.
exists in 11. There's a filter for it, I'm fairly sure. With the blood, whenever there's gore, it goes black and white instead of red. And the X-ray, say like Joker has that one where he hits you in the chin and it cracks your jaw.
Yeah.
If you have to switch off, you just don't see an X-ray. It just does it in slow-mo.
Oh, well,
I'm
there you
fairly
go.
sure it exists.
I was going to say, in competitive, does any of this matter?
Competitive, no, but it does affect streams.
Sure, but like for competitive, they'd want to turn all this off because they actually just want the pure gameplay, don't they? They don't want all the fluff.
I always
Fluff
see
is the game, mate.
Yeah, I always see it on. I always see it
Really?
on. Yeah,
Okay.
always see it on.
Yeah.
And see people doing fatalities and everything else. Yeah, it's always on. Because it's part of the series identity, isn't it? It was always marketed as just being that edgy version of Street Fighter, even though it played way worse than Street Fighter 2.
I would have seen it a lot like with Smash Brothers, you're turning off the items because they just get in the way of the action.
Yeah, I guess, but it's like with Mortal Kombat, that is 90% of it. It's like humiliating your opponent, doing a mercy in a grand finals, things like that, which are just...
Babality's still in it?
They weren't in the last one,
Yeah.
but they are known to be there. But you get friendships in this.
Friendships are cute. I like the friendships.
So, like, yeah, Sub-Zero go and make him an ice cream and give him an ice cream. And friendship comes up. And they're cool. And you got to do very specific things to get them. So, if someone's getting bodied, and in Mercy, the way in Mercy works, is when they're on the finish them stage, like this, wave them around, you teabag. And if you teabag loads, they come back with like a quarter of a health bar.
Yeah, I know this. Yeah.
And it's the most humiliating way to die ever. Because it can also create some amazing upsets.
So it's worse than drowning in your dad's cum.
Not as bad as that.
Not as bad as that.
Not
Because
as
that would
bad.
be fatality.
That would, yeah. Cumology.
Cumology. Sorry to bring that back up.
Yeah. It's not quite
Moving
as bad
on.
as that. But yeah, interesting nonetheless. I tell you what, I'm looking forward to seeing more and Mortal Kombat in the future. And for my money, it's being spent on Mortal Kombat. I'm getting it day one.
I hope it looks poo poo. Sincerely, I can't. So I'll buy it. I will buy it. And like Phil said, I'm all in on Street Fighter. I want Street Fighter to take over my life. I can't have Mortal Kombat coming in September. Me being like, oh, looks pretty good, mind. Oh, better learn whoever Cassie Cage if she's in the game. No. I want to win
Spence
tournaments.
just goes for the babes, doesn't he?
He does. And if Cassie Cage is in it, it'd be wild. Because this is throwing it back in time. So
Yeah, true.
she should not be born. But
Oh yeah, but now you got young Sonya.
yes, you got young. Yes, you do.
Ooh.
Oh, yes, you do.
Like Cassie's gone, bro.
Go for the mother, mate. Ooh.
Hell yeah.
You could make Cassie.
Jeez.
Fuck,
You can never escape it. And I shouldn't enable Spencer either. Because this is all we get now. We'll get Sonya Blade, all Cammy,
All
up
Cammy.
until September. And beyond.
Who's his pick for Tekken?
Yeah, who's like...
I ain't going near Tekken.
What about Nina? You don't like Nina?
What about
I
that
don't-
robot woman with the buzzsaws? I could see you getting kinky with her.
Nah, I don't
No?
like a game that has a Z-axis. I'm not getting that.
Ah, right.
You can twist and turn, man, and then there's like 50 input combo buttons. It's like, what the fuck is Tekken? You can hit people when they're on the ground for like a minute. You can still sweep them. Nah, that game ain't for me. No.
Full of fit women, though, ain't it?
Yeah, it is.
It is.
Yeah, maybe it is
I've
for me.
seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what they announce.
Who's on DLC?
Right. Well, moving swiftly on from Spencer's absolute debauchery, Mr. Hoy, I'm coming across to yourself.
Let's do this.
Household appliances. The one that I use probably more than any other in the house is a kettle.
Okay.
Give me a kettle.
Give you the kettle. Okay. Here's the kettle.
Give me the tea.
Cup of tea, Davey? We can do a bit of role play. We're together.
Oh, yeah, go on. Yes.
Yeah, fancy a cup of tea?
I'd love one, thanks.
All right, mate. I'll go and get you one.
Oh, is the water going in? Okay, nice.
Right. Moves over. Puts it in. Plugs in. Sugar with that?
No thanks, mate.
Milk?
Sweet enough.
Double sugars then?
Milky enough, mate.
Milky enough.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means, but sure. Ding, 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 ding. There you go, mate. How's that?
Oh, too hot. My lips. Oh.
This tea went bad.
All over your shit.
Quick news. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a new MMORPG. And as Davey knows, that's massively multiplayer online role-playing game. And we are going to the Lord of the Rings. This game is coming from Amazon Games and the Embracer Group. It's going to be launching on PC and console. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Developed by Amazon Games, as I said. And it's an open-world MMO set in Middle-earth. It's in the early stages of production. Now, guys, Amazon don't have the best track record when it comes to releasing games with Nova, Intensity, Breakaway, Cubicle. You know, these are all dead games that have gone through the Amazon works and they just haven't seen the light of day. So let's see what happens. I mean, Lord of the Rings, it's a perfect IP from MMORPG, don't you think, guys?
Oh, God, yeah.
It is a perfect IP for it.
Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah. God, yeah. And I mean, any chance you get to play as an Urukai, I'm in. I'm in. That's like an unwritten rule of mine, really, is that if I can play as like a halfling that's like the perfect specimen. An Urukai is like an orc. Well, it's just an orc that can go out in daylight, aka no weaknesses. Perfect
Be an
being.
orc.
Not an orc, because they can't go out in daylight. So daylight hurts them. So it's a proper disadvantage. An Urukai can go out. So it can run long distances. And meat's back on the menu, boys. I'd say that all the time as an Urukai. They'd be like, geez, we know. We know. It's never not on the menu.
He always says it's his marriage that is the lack of sex. But really, it's something else, isn't it, mate?
It's the fact that I keep telling the wife that I want her to role play as an Urukai at night. And she's like, no, we did it one time. One time. And never again.
Well, now you've got all that extra time. An MMORPG is a perfect way to be spending your time. All those times where you could be going to bed early, rubbing your hands together. You could be sat in front of your computer, bashing out on Lord of the Rings.
I could be, yeah. I could be showing who is the Lord of that ring.
Oh, Jesus.
Spencer, what do you think about this? Would you be up for playing a bit of Lord of the Rings MMO?
Absolutely not. I think I'm too dead set. If I ever get into an MMO, it's going to be World of Warcraft. I'm not keen on any other MMO unless it blows me away with its trailers, and I'm not trusting of Amazon Games. And
Yeah.
I'm not that big on Lord of the Rings, unfortunately.
What?
I like
Really?
it. I like it a lot, but never enough to be like, oh, new Lord of the Rings, let's go. I mean, I've not watched all the Hobbits. I didn't watch that show
What?
they did.
Wild.
I'm not
Wild,
that fussed.
absolute wild take. First
really
Metal
not
Gear
that
Solid,
fussed.
6 out of 10. Now he's not watched Lord of the Rings.
Crazy.
I've watched Lord of the Rings. I've not seen the
But all
Hobbits.
of them.
Have you seen the
All
extended
the Lord.
editions?
I've seen the trilogies, the extended editions of the trilogies.
Okay.
I'm
I have them.
shocked.
I have them on DVD.
Okay, that's fine.
Oh, I
Oh,
had
yeah.
them. I don't think I have them anymore. I think I gave them to my brother, and he never gave them back. But I haven't seen. I've seen the first Hobbit, not the other two, and I've not seen that show that they did on Prime.
Oh, the show's good. Show's good. Hobbit, quite average, to be fair.
Yeah.
You haven't really missed too much. But I do agree with you. MMOs is too much time. It's too much of a time sink. And like you say, it's Amazon Games. You know, you'd have to see it before you had it. And even if it came out and it was the next coming of Christ, it was insane. I don't have time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. And, you know, I'm in my 30s. I can't be playing MMOs, RPGs anymore.
It's not the style of game you can just dip in and dip out and still have fun with.
No.
Well, I definitely couldn't, because I lost years of my life to World of Warcraft. I played at the competitive edge when it came to PvE, and I was on there 24/7 and nearly failed my university degree because of the game. It took me that hard. So I'm not going back. I don't even want to talk about World of Warcraft because I'm thinking about it now. So let's move on. Spencer, coming back round to you. I want your best impression of a blender.
Blender. All right.
So blend me up a smoothie.
Sure, mate. So first, got to plug him in.
It's the same as the Hoover.
Yeah.
Draw. Pop
Why has he
him
got
down,
nothing plugged in ever in this
plug
house?
in. Well, you have your blender plugged in all the time. How often
Depends how
do
much
you
you
blend?
blend.
Yeah,
I don't know.
You knew I was coming round
Yeah, you know he likes
when
his
you thought
blend.
you'd like a blended beverage.
every single time, mate.
That's wild. I bought a blender ages ago. I've used it twice.
You've already
haven't
tidied
used
up
it
the
in
house
years.
with the Hoover. Now you've got to blend me a
true.
smoothie.
That's true. It's- Make a mess. Plug him in. He's plugged in. Film it. You're on my ass. What kind of smoothie do you want, mate? Do you want like bananas? Do you want what fruit of choice?
Strawberry, I think.
Strawberry.
You got
smoothie.
strawberries?
I got strawberries. Do you want like maybe a spoonful of peanut butter in there? Some
Yeah, spice it up a little bit for me.
want a
mate.
bit of protein powder.
I'm trying to bulk at the moment, as everyone can
Exactly,
see.
Yeah, Steve, thinking about that, mate. Looking out for you. All right, there you go, mate. Pop it in. Nice. Give you a little double scoop. Ooh, he's getting
Oh,
big.
treat him.
Oh,
How many
baby.
punnets of strawberries he putting in?
How many roofies is he putting in?
Yeah.
That's the worry for me here.
Few little strawberries, maybe a few little peanuts as well. Sprinkle them in. Lovely stuff. And now ready?
Only got one setting.
It does. It's on max, bro. It's on max. I'm efficient.
On or off.
Fuck, the
smoothie
fucking
maker.
lids come off. Phil, your smoothie's on the floor.
I'll be drowning in it later.
Lick it up. Quick news. Actually, I also thought of a worse way to die again.
In the smoothie.
Drowning in boiling hot tea.
Oh yeah, but you wouldn't drown in the. You'd burn to death.
No, you'd drown.
Burn from tea? Burn to death?
Mate, if you put your hand over a kettle when the steam's going,
I did just a minute ago. I was fine.
That was imaginary. This one, real
Oh,
life.
the impression was very good, though. Look how red my hands are.
I believed it. Yeah, I believed it. But no, it's bad. Yeah, you wouldn't want that. You
Is
you
that
would
what you get up to at home?
no. Sorry to derail the podcast. When my summer's first born, right? When my summer's first born, when you're dealing with a newborn, it is the most tired you've ever experienced in your life. It doesn't even make sense how tired you are. It's ridiculous. And it's because the little bastards wake up like every hour. So you can't get real sleep. If you had like 3 hours straight, you'd be fine. No bother. You've done it for like 20 years when you've been out in the nightclub, right? Don't know when I got served. 10 years. 20 years, you get served from 10. You've been clubbing since then. Anyway, having like 1 hour of broken sleep every now and again, I put the kettle on so I could disinfect the bottle, and I wanted to reach over and grab a cup because on the other side of the kettle in my house, the way I had it set up.
Sure. There's your first problem.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I was sleep deprived. And what happened is,
What, when you installed the kitchen?
yeah, when I put the cups there, and I reached through the steam to grab a cup,
Wow.
pulled it out, and I was so tired I didn't even realize that I'd even burned anything to start with, and so I was already hand was full through. I had to pull it back through the steam. My entire arm came out in massive blisters, and it was excruciating. And I realized when I was about halfway back through the steam, and I could have gone this way. I thought, I've gone far enough.
You could have kept going.
I did. I came all the way back through. I was like, steam. What's steam to a man? came back through, and I was like, ah! I was straight under that cold tap, and it was savage. It was savage.
And that was Cass's fault, not yours.
It was, yeah, he got beaten that day. I'm joking.
Held him over the kettle, mate. Be like,
But-
this is what you put me through.
It's one of those reasons why I have only got one child. It's things like that I'm like, nope, never doing this again.
And I'm always making the tea for you.
And yeah.
Whenever you come over, I'm never letting you make a tea.
No, never do it.
Because you might decide to end it there and then.
Oh, dear.
All right, back on track, shall we, lads? Quick news. VGC have reported that Deviation Games, who is currently making a PlayStation-backed multiplayer IP, has been hit with significant layoffs, reporting as many as 90 people may be affected, which is a massive portion of the studio's total staff. If 90 is true, then it could be more than half the total of heads at the studio. And if that's the case, we could see the new IP being cancelled. What a sad time. I mean, just last episode, we talked about, I've already forgot who it was, the Concrete Genie guys.
They've already gone.
Yeah, they're gone. And now layoffs as well with Deviation Games. What a terrible time.
I mean, you could look at it a couple of different ways, can't you? On one hand, it's sad because multiplayer, first-party games are a rarity in the PlayStation catalog. It's actually something we're really sorely missing.
Yeah, true.
And they have stated before that they're going to have this focus on these live service games that they're going to be putting out from PlayStation.
Oh.
So, yeah. So
Give with one, take from the other.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's not. Am I gutted? Yes, in a way, because I really want to know what they were working on over there to be bought in the first place, right? And this is a studio that are made up from a lot of veteran people. So this isn't just a studio that's come out of nowhere. This is a studio that's been formed from all ex-developers from loads of different like high-class studios come together to form them. So am I a bit shocked that they've done this? Yes. However, one thing that I am liking from this is that we're seeing some quality control from PlayStation. And if they weren't up to snuff, whatever they were doing, I'd rather it just stop and just go. Because we've seen what happens on the other side of the fence when you look at the Xbox ecosystem and Redfall. When that should have been stopped 18 months ago. And it never was. And it gets released and it's shit. And all it does is it damages the brand, damages the image. If you're coming out with something and you're having a focus on you want live service games, you want them to be a winner, you want them to come out and be good. We've already got one live service game in the catalog now from buying Bungie and having Destiny. But you need to have more. And they're a moneymaker, as we know. When you look at the, Warzone, you look at Apex Legends and Fortnite and everything else. I'd rather them say, right, well, if this ain't here, this concept ain't strong enough, it's not unique enough, whatever the case is, cut it. It might suck, but nothing's worse than putting another couple of years of development time in, wasting resource, and putting out something that's half-baked and should never have got to that point. So it's good in a way, if you think about it.
I don't think the 90 families are looking at it that way, Davey.
No, but then again, it's not like as if, sure, these people have been let go, but they're more than likely contractors. And it's part of the job, right? It's part of the worry that comes with that.
And they can always move over to Media Molecule.
Yes, get them in.
Get them in.
Get them in.
Because they've got an open door policy at the moment. Anyone who's got an idea, quickly, guys, help us out.
That's how I'd be running PlayStation right now. Straight, everyone that gets binned off, you're in Media Molecule, and one of you will make a
threat.
game. Yes.
If you guys don't make a good game, you're going to Media Molecule.
And we never close them for whatever reason, so you will stay there in perpetuity making shit. And that's all you do.
Purgitude.
Yeah, that's it. You are there forever, and there's no coming back from this, and you can never leave. You're stuck. Yeah, so that's the threat. So yeah, so that's the way I view it. I don't know if you've got any thoughts on any other thoughts on this, though, guys. Spence, have you got any kind of?
It's like you said, it's situational. Because if it was the fact that they were going to release a pile of wank, then I'm glad that they'd just step away from it and be like, look, you guys weren't doing good work. We don't need you or whatever. And like you said, they probably were contractors, which is they'll get another gig in like however long. It won't take long. They'll be fine. They'll get back on their feet. I think the main point that you said that I kind of very much agree with is just the lack of first-party multiplayer games we're getting at the minute. There's none. There aren't any. There really aren't. And I would love for one. I would really love for one. Granted, are we going to play COD instead? Yeah. Yeah, we will. But it'd still be nice to have that option. And, I mean, the ones we've had in the past have all been sick. Absolutely fantastic. Just bring them. Do it again. That's all I want. And if this is the first case we were going to have and it's already going down this route, it's just not looking good for the future. So I don't know exactly where I stand. I don't think it's the worst thing that could have happened. It's better than them closing a studio, you know?
Yeah.
But, yeah, it is what it is.
Well, it's not confirmed that they're ending the game. This was just our assumption based off the amount of people leaving. So fingers crossed the remaining heads there can... still push it over the line and we get to see what they've been working on.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We don't know. And it is speculation. I imagine that whatever they were working on has hit the scrap heap or had a major rework. So I don't think we're going to be seeing anything from them for quite a while. But who knows? See what happens. No point in speculating on something when we've got a whole topic of speculation coming up shortly about PlayStation IPs. Two topics. And yes, and 2 rumors. Yeah. So
2 rumors, one topic.
Yeah.
All speculation.
Nightmare. Yeah. All right, so leave that aside then. Moving on. Gonna keep this. Tell you what, today, boys, we've had a few weird circles. We've had a few triangles in the past. Today, I'm quite liking the circle. So, Davey, I'm coming to you again. I would like to hear the sound of
so much build up. Why is there so much build up?
Lots of tension, isn't there?
Of like a dodgy oven where the light doesn't actually work, so you're holding the gas for ages and it's doing you're trying to light it and it's ticking.
Yes.
You're a dodgy oven.
Okay.
And you're trying to get it started, but you're also trying not to release so much gas that you blow up the house.
Okay. All right. I gotcha. I got you for this.
He's been practicing this one.
Oh, yeah, I've lived for this. Right. Okay. 'Cause my mum's oven is exactly this. This is what happens to my mother's oven. She should have thrown it out years ago. Check it out for the scrappy.
Your mum throws ovens?
She's strong woman.
She's big muscles on that girl.
This is why I always behaved in school.
Get out of my house.
She can throw the oven. What could she do to a 10-year-old me? That's why you always
hold you over the kettle.
I'll burn you. I'll burn you, kid. So, you're going in. I'm not going to mess around too much with this. You guys are really like as if you're bloody running a shop here or a cafe or something. So I'm gonna just take us down to what the impression is.
You don't have to plug this one in because it's gas.
Yeah, it's plumbed.
You've already told the story, mate. You've already dragged it out.
Yeah, all right. So what you do? Lift the top. Up.
WD-40 on that.
You open it to make sure no one's left anything inside. Clear. Pull down the grill. Hit the thing. Grill's on. Working. Perfect. Put the bacon in. Lovely. Now for the all-important eggs. Got my time just right. The smoke smells like bacon. Ugh. See, quick news. Project Leonardo has got a name. For those that don't remember what Project Leonardo is, it is the accessibility controller. We spoke about it a number of episodes ago, so we're not going to go too deep into it, but it is called the Access Controller.
Makes sense.
Really, really good. Great, this finally got a name. Great to see more information on it. Loads of detail on the PlayStation blog. We discussed this in a lot of detail and nothing has changed. With that, no point going any further, guys. So, I'm going to pass this back over to yourself, Mr. Hoy.
Okay, what you got?
So, the thing I would like from you today appliance-wise, you got lots of choices. Home appliance. Are we including garden appliances with this?
Is it in your home?
Depends where you keep it, doesn't it?
Well, if it's down the allotment, it's not in your home.
No, who does that? Got a shed?
People with an allotment.
Yes, fair enough. All right. Well,
I think
want a
your
mower.
garden counts as part of your home.
I'd say so. I would like a strimmer, please.
A strimmer.
Strimmer.
Okie doke. So I'm going out to my allotment.
Okay.
Get in the car.
Points
Start
down.
the car.
Drive 10 miles.
It's a long journey to my allotment. Strangely, I've got it up north. Right, get out of the car. Straight into my allotment. Walking down. Oh, those plants look a little, overgrown. Let's get the old strimmer out.
Why are we doing these so long today? We're all doing it as well. That was incredible. That was incredible.
Quick news.
Oh my god, that was so good.
Takes your breath away, doesn't it? So, guys, episode 1 of The Expanse, a Telltale series, launches July 27th for the PS5, PS4, and Xbox Series, and also available on the PC via the Epic Store, with a following 4 episodes released every 2 weeks. For me, I cannot wait to get into the world of Expanse and see what the guys over at Telltale have done with this series. Cannot wait. Anyone else interested in it? I've mentioned it a couple of times on the show. I'm trying to convince you guys. I know you've played a few of these previous iterations of Telltale games and very much enjoyed them. Mm-hmm. Does the Expanse IP interest you?
No, not really. Sorry, no. But what I am interested in is, because you've never really played a Telltale game, I don't think.
Walking Dead.
You have played Walking Dead, have you?
Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
Not all the way through, because you did buy it me for a Christmas or a birthday.
Ages ago, yeah.
Ages ago, but I've played through episode 1.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. You started it. Oh, you got to finish that. Jesus Christ. What a great game. Yeah, I'll be interested to hear your thoughts when you play it through and see how far things have changed. If that was your only one that you have played
it is.
From there, they've made a lot of improvements and a lot of things have stayed the same. So it will be quite interesting to see what they do in terms of like the mini games and that kind of thing to add more gameplay variety into a Telltale experience, because Walking Dead was a case of it's a point and click adventure.
Sure.
So they have moved on quite a bit from that. For me, I don't know The Expanse. I haven't watched it.
So me and your dad haven't convinced you to watch The Expanse.
It's on the list, but you know when the list...
We are both massive fans, and we've talked about this so many times to you.
Oh, if you knew...
Pull your finger out.
Oh, mate. Honestly, this list is ridiculous. I haven't watched Game of Thrones. So I only finished Breaking Bad last year. So, it will get there. I will get there.
You boys need to play less games. I can't believe I'm saying this on a PlayStation podcast, but play less games, watch a little bit more TV.
Yeah.
And Spencer, you need to watch the rest of the Lord of the Rings. Come on.
Yeah, it's a crime. It's a goddamn crime. What about yourself, Spence? What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, like, same as you, Davey, I don't care about The Expanse, and I'm probably never going to watch it either. I just watch my own stuff. I'm watching Ted Lasso at the minute, and it's fantastic. I'm on season 3. It's great. I've done that in like 3 days as well, and they're like 45-minute episodes, 12 episodes a season.
Wow.
I'm binging it, and it's great. Fantastic little show. And God knows what I'll watch after that, but it's not going to be The Expanse. What I am quite keen for is just a return of Telltale, because they've been MIA for however long, wiped off the face of the earth. But for their return, I'm way more keen for, what's it called? The Wolf Among Us.
Sure.
Yeah, fair
I'm
enough.
happy to sit and wait for that, for my Telltale experience. And then, maybe if that blows me away, I'll be like, oh, maybe I should try The Expanse. And then maybe after playing that, I'll be like, oh, I bet the show's pretty good. And then that's how it begins.
Once you hear my review when I've played it, I'll change your mind. And I'll promise you that.
Or it'll change yours.
Or I'll just buy it you for Christmas and you'll have to play it.
Yes, that works well.
That works very well. Because I've played some incredible games because of that.
That's true.
And I've still got quite a few games to get through because of that. But moving on, let's heat things up for you, Spencer. We've just moved away from the cooker that Davey did. I want you now to do a microwave. I want you to heat me up some food, some grub. You've cleaned the house for me. You've made me a smoothie in the blender. So now I want some dinner. I want some scran.
All right, sure. Hang on. Let me check the fridge. So,
Plug it in first, mate.
the fridge is plugged in, mate. Funnily enough, the fridge is plugged in. That's wild. Fridge is plugged in. Needs 30-40 on that. What do you want, mate? What do you fancy?
Same as this cook.
What are you fancying, Phil?
I'm fancying a ready meal. Do you have a curry in there?
Ready meal. I tell you what, I do. It's from Asda as well. It's one of them nice ones. It's got that onion gravy. Onion gravy.
Gravy on a curry.
It's a value. It's a value one.
I could tell it's from Asda. I was hoping for a Waitrose, but no chance in the Spencer house.
It's a budget
in my head. I used to buy the gravy and sausage they did and mash, and it had onion gravy in it.
Spence is walking out of Asda like this.
Knows I'm coming round. He's bought my strawberries, right, from a smoothie, and he's bought peanuts. Strangely goes into a smoothie. And now he's got me some sausage and mash when I've asked for a curry. But anyway, I'll let it fly.
Only ready meal we got, mate. Sorry, I thought it was a curry. Turns out we put the wrong sleeve on the wrong ready meal somehow. But that's how it's done. So I'll tell you what, I'll get out the fridge for you. Get out the fridge. Pull the sleeve off. Where's me fork? Open the drawer. Bang. Bang. Got me fridge. You got to poke holes in the ready meal.
Classic.
Stab, shank that bitch. Everywhere. That'll do. Chuck it back. Actually, chuck it in the sink. It's got a bit of onion gravy on the tip. Cold onion gravy as well. Chuck that in the sink. There you go. It's in the sink.
Everything sounds the same in Spencer's household. It all sounds like a Hoover or like what were those little things you got in cornflakes where they like pop up?
Oh yeah,
you know those little things that bounce and you used to take to school. It all sound like that.
Little frog things.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, 2 minutes, mate. It's a ready meal. It'll take 2 minutes. Plug the microwave in.
Jesus Christ.
It's plugged in. Go. Open the door. Pop it in. There we are. I was going to do the noise again. Shut.
It's an automatic microwave, no buttons.
It knows. It reads your mind.
Just knows.
It's on the ready meal setting, mate. It's already on the setting. It's all I eat.
He's going to do this for 2 minutes. It sounds like it's Hoover, doesn't it? And his blender.
Ting.
Oh, nice.
Poof. Open. Grab it. It's ready, mate. Come get it. Quick news. We've got some new DLC coming to the wonderful world of Dead by Daylight. And you'll be glad to know, Phil, the DLC in that game isn't region locked. So,
wow.
You could get it.
I might dive in. What is this IP?
This IP is one of the scariest things they've added, I think. And that is Nicolas Cage himself. And you'd think, oh, well, which of his characters? He's done quite a lot of characters over time. None of them. It's just him. just
so weird.
Big old Nick Cage. And you got to think, how did this deal come about? There's only speculation, and we've got enough speculation coming, so we won't get onto that. But it's confirmed. Nicolas Cage is coming to Dead by Daylight. What are your thoughts, boys?
I think it's absolutely incredible. I think this is brilliant. And the way I looked at it, I thought it was like a joke to start with. And then when I watched the trailer through, and no, it is just Nick Cage. It's fully Nick Cage, like everywhere, all over it. And I thought, wow, this is wild. Can you imagine any other celebrity doing this? No. But I can imagine Nick Cage doing it. It's so on brand for him. And I was like, yes, I'm so in for this. What I need now is just all the different cosmetics be all the different characters that he's played.
Yes.
Excellent. Good idea.
Excellent. And maybe we might get a 2-for-1 on this, because in Face Off, Nicolas Cage's character got John Travolta's face.
That's insane.
Could it happen? Maybe. watch this space. But yeah, I'm so in for this. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I loved it.
My question with this is, do you think Nicolas Cage knows what Dead by Daylight is? Or has he just gone, do you know what? I just need some more money here. A video game, appear in a video game, sure, I'll sign on the dotted line. I don't care. Have my IP, but only me. Nothing to do with any of the films, because I can't get more money for that. If it's just purely me, I can get the max amount of money. Dead by Daylight are like, yeah, all right, why not? We'll just have a celebrity as a celebrity in it. Win-win. You know, they'll all earn money off this, won't they? I can't imagine he knows anything about this game.
See, my theory for it is I think Nick Cage is an avid DBD fan. And I think he's been sweating it, grinding it out. And he was just like, I'm Nick Cage. What am I doing? And he just called them up. And he's just guessed their number. He just guessed their number. And just calls them up. He's like, yo, this is Nicolas bloody Cage. Put me in the game, please. And they're like, yeah? Okay. I guess. And like, what are you gonna do? Say no to Nicolas Cage? Nah, come on. If he asked to be in a game, they're putting him in the bloody game, and he's making money off it 100% too. I reckon he instigated it. I reckon that's the only way it would just be Nick Cage. It's the only thing that makes sense to me.
It kind of sounds like a joke in a bar, doesn't it? You know, like, should we go and ask Nick Cage if he wants to be in the game? Send a beer over. All right, Nick. We just yeah. Would you be in our game? And he's like, hell yeah. You know, he's already kind of slaughtered. He's already there. He's tapped a few already, right? So he's just signed there and then. He's just gone in. I think he might regret it.
Oh, I think he's going to love it. And I agree with you, Spence. I reckon he's definitely knows what DBRD is. I reckon he plays it. And whenever I watch interviews with Nick Cage, he's a weird guy, right? Really weird, but such a legend. But he's super knowledgeable on like every form of media. Like someone will say about like a movie that came out in like 1922. And he's like, oh yeah, I know. That was directed by la 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 la. That was done by whom? La, la, la. He knows like every single bit of detail.
Has he watched Lord of the Rings?
Definitely would have.
Yeah?
Yeah, 100%.
The Expanse?
Don't know. Don't know about The Expanse. Don't know. Heard there's a lot of people who don't watch it. 2 out of 3 don't watch it, according to the statistic in this podcast. But yeah, I reckon he 100% did. And it's not too far off brand for gaming at the moment, because Call of Duty, you can play as a load of footballers, you can play as Tim the Tap Man, you know, all these different people, you can just get skins for them. So, you know, you can play as Messi, shooting people in Call of Duty.
Call of Duty.
That's what I'm doing wrong. I'm not Messi.
You're not using the Messi skin.
Messi.
You run well fast, yeah. And you don't miss.
Well fast.
You don't miss, mate.
That's what you kind of know about football. They run fast,
well,
and Messi doesn't miss.
What do? They shoot balls, and they run a bit with a ball. I'm guessing, seeing as he was the best player in the world, he does both of those quite well.
Does he wear his kit?
I imagine he wears a kit, but in
like
COD,
a football kit or a COD kit?
Yeah, he's wearing a COD kit in the thing. He's not running around in a in a football outfit.
Just a football outfit.
Yeah. Well, they wouldn't be able to get the licenses for
said club that Messi plays for.
I don't want to say it. I don't want to get sued.
You can whisper it to me. I won't put it in the edit. What club does he play for?
Football club.
Okay, yeah. He plays for that one.
Yeah, plays for the football club. Yes. So yeah, it's not too far off brand, is what I'm saying here.
Yes.
So yeah, I think it's cool anyway, and that's the main thing, right?
Yeah, it is very cool. Now there is another bit of news for DBD, and I was hoping you guys hadn't seen this. It was announced an hour before we started recording.
Oh, I definitely have not seen this. No.
Fresh
and this is
off
something
the presses.
specifically for you, Davey.
Ooh, go on.
Tweeted out an hour before, a tiny teaser. They haven't shown what it is yet, but there was 2 logos in a video. The Dead by Daylight logo, followed by Supermassive Games.
Oh, okay.
So what do you think it could be?
Well, it's bound to be. It's bound to be something from Dark Pictures, right?
Obviously, yeah. But I'm thinking like what from Dark Pictures?
Well, this is the thing. You can have all the core cast, because the thing about the Dark Pictures anthology is it's the same core actors that play different roles in every single game, with the odd guest character here and there.
Sure.
But the vast majority of them are repurposed. So it means you can get all the survivors, you can get as the main cast, and then you can just have different skins for them. So that makes perfect sense. And in terms of killers, if they wanted to go down a killer route for it, the only one that I think would make proper sense would be, and it'd be quite a boring killer, would be the one from the most recent game, which is it Henry Holmes? The guy who's like the first American serial killer.
No.
Him. Can't remember his name now. Something Holmes anyway. But he's the one that would make the most sense because he's an actual killer, whereas in the first game, there wasn't any killers. Second game, there wasn't really any killers either. Unless they put werewolf in.
I was going to say, do you not think they could put in a Wendigo?
Yes, but I don't know who owns the rights for Until Dawn.
Yeah. That's
So I don't know. But they could go for a werewolf from the quarry. So that would work too. So the good thing is, load of options. And that's cool. Would it stop me playing Jill Valentine? No. No, it will not. But it's cool to see. That is quite high. That's a great crossover that makes sense.
Yeah. Makes a lot more sense than Nick Cage. But it's also very cool to see them straight off the back. They've just announced Nick Cage. And now immediately Supermassive Games have tweeted out, we're doing this as well.
All we need, mate, is Alien. It's what we need.
Oh.
Alien, Predator, that's what we need. And they don't have the licenses for those. A Terminator would be sick. You know, that's what they need. They've already got like so many classics horror franchises. Time to get the Fox ones in now. And if they could get that, there's nothing stopping them.
Perfect game.
Mm-hmm. Well, it already is really good. So
Yeah. So that was it. I just want to get your thoughts on that. I thought that was a nice little bit of news that I saw on Twitter just before we started.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Brilliant. So putting that to a close, we're going to move on. Davey, straight back to you, keeping this circle flowing in the way that it should. My household appliance for you. Oh, nice, lovely, easy one.
Okay.
Toaster, mate.
Ah, brilliant. Bread? I could do it like Gordon Ramsay. Hello, guys. I'm going to show you how to make the best toast. With this, we got our own bread. I made this bread 1 week ago, so it's getting quite old. It means we need to toast it. Toast. Bread in. Setting 4. Or if it's a smooth one, no noise whatsoever.
Lends itself to an impression.
It does. Perfect. Toast on 3 minutes.
3 minutes for toast.
Yes, mate.
On setting 4.
That'd be a 4-minute toast.
That's not how it works.
You
It's
put it
5
on
minutes.
setting 4.
Is it?
Yes.
It's never that long.
Yes, it is.
No.
Yeah. If you set it to 3 minutes. 3-minute toast. Toast. Pop.
Pop.
Grab midair like an actual G. Butter. Salty. Crumbs. In sync. Toast. Done. Quick news. SM2. Have you heard about it, guys? It was rhetorical. SM2 is a game which is being developed by a load of the COD community who, what they're doing essentially is they started off modding Modern Warfare 2 Remastered, the game that came out a number of years ago on PS4. And the idea with SM2 was to get all the best parts from all CODs into one game.
Ooh.
So to have like all the weapons that have been in previous CODs, to have all the maps, all the best maps from previous CODs, and bring in brand new weapons, brand new kill streaks, brand new ways to be able to play the game. Proper community funded and community thing where it wasn't going to make any money. It was just there for the community.
Developers hate all this, don't they?
They do indeed.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, it was shaping up to be really good. People were starting to play it a little bit, and they were saying, oh my God, this is perfect. This is everything that the COD community's been asking for. It's perfect, la 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 la. Then they switched engine. And they switched engine to the new Modern Warfare engine. And what they meant is that you didn't, on this new version of the engine, you didn't have to buy a COD to be able to get access to the mod. So it'd be a standalone thing.
Oh.
And in doing so, you can guess what happened next on this story. They got a cease and desist letter from Activision saying, shut that shit down. Now, guys, this is the most boneheaded thing I think anybody can do. If you are literally borrowing an IP and doing mods on it, fine, no problem at all. Activision going to make money from the purchase of their game, doesn't harm anyone. However, the second you get it so that somebody can play a free version of an IP that you do not own, what do you expect to happen? Now, I'm gutted as much as the next guy, but people are saying online at the moment that Activision are scum. That Activision, what are you doing? This is an insult against the COD community. No, let's be real here. This is an IP that Activision own, that somebody is willingly going to take players away from the COD, from the actual COD games where they make money into a free experience which they make nothing from. Doesn't help their metrics, doesn't help anything. If it was still a modded game and they were playing Modern Warfare 2 Remastered and you saw numbers spike, great, awesome. They're playing this game now at the moment. It looks good for our spreadsheet, even if the only point of sale they're making is the purchase of the game outright, even if they're not getting involved in the rest of the cosmetics or anything else. But putting it and siphoning it into something that you do not own, that Activision make nothing from, that doesn't show on their back books in any conceivable way, you got to ask yourself, why would you go through all the amount of effort that you've got to make this product? Because the outcome is inevitable.
It just goes to show you can be both intelligent and dumb. Because that's what these developers are. They've made an incredible looking game. They've given the community what they want in the most stupid way. And now they've lost out because of it. So, unlucky.
Yeah. What about yourself, Spence? Got any thoughts on this?
Yeah, it's just, they just tried doing too much, really. They'd already made something which was ideal for everyone who wanted it. It was the perfect game for the people who need that. And they thought, oh, we can keep going. We can make it better. New engine. Yeah, it's fine. And they obviously just didn't think about it. They just thought, oh, we can use this engine. It's fine. But you're right. The fact it's just making it that standalone experience. That's the only reason. I think Activision probably didn't give two shits the entire time. They really didn't care because they thought, well, we're Call of Duty. We're still going to keep selling. But if you can get literally the exact Call of Duty experience from their new title in this, granted, it might not have the raids, which is our selling point. But if it has the multiplayer, which is the core gameplay of Call of Duty, it's the reason people buy these games. If it has that to a better experience than the actual Call of Duty game itself, you have to know. You have to know that you're fucking up somewhere. You might think, I mean, realistically, that after this cease and desist, Activision should hire him.
I 100% agree with you. 100%.
Activision should hire these people 1,000,000%. Just every cease and desist, shut it down, but bring everything. Join us, we'll hire you and bring everything you've been working on. And that's half their job bloody done. It's all finished. There's new weapons, new maps, all that, new modes. Just bring it over, chuck it in your game.
It
Cheap
would
as
make
well.
bank as well. If you had something that was like, here's all the maps that everyone loves from COD, from classic COD, all the guns that you love that aren't included in our new game, you got them all. And call it like COD Greatest Hits. Done. And it's just print money. It's just a money printing machine. Done. Easy as that.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's it. And sell skins on it. Sorted.
Yeah.
Sorted.
Literally exactly that, yeah. But the issue is, if they do that, they're just not going to be able to have the future games and nostalgia for bringing in old maps on the future games.
That's true.
I think their best thing would be get them over, bring everything, and use that in their existing Call of Duty. And they wouldn't do all of it. They just chuck in like an extra mode that they'd already been working on in the next season pass or something like that. It just saved them doing the work. And they'd get new talent involved in their studio. It's a win-win, really. And it looked good as well in the community. Even though everyone's called them scum now, if they then hire these people and say they're joining us at Activision, people would be like, oh, brilliant. That's the best thing you could have done.
Yeah, agreed. So, Mr. Hoy, coming across to you. And
Last one.
This is to end quick news. I would like for your appliance. I've had some good ones today. We have had some good ones. Let's go for a mop.
A mop.
Steam mop.
Steam mop.
Have you seen those?
I have seen this.
I would say it's an appliance. Even though it doesn't plug in, it's still...
Does it not plug in? How does it generate the steam?
Some of them you can pour it in.
Pour in steam.
You pour in like boiling water.
Oh, you got to do a second kettle.
Well, it's an old school one.
Okay.
But
well, which one would you prefer?
I think, seeing as everyone likes a plug-in at the moment, at the start of things, let's go for a plug-in one, shall we?
Plug in steam mop.
Yes. Very specific. But it also is something that not many people have heard.
Okay.
So I think it gives you a lot of creative freedom.
I think it probably does. All right, then. Well, we need to tip something first. So that boiling tea that I made you earlier,
Yeah.
I'll just knock it off.
My tea.
Tea all over the floor, Davey.
I know, you just smashed my fucking cup of tea. You just made me.
Let me get my electric steam mop out. Very creaky door. Spooky door, actually.
Very spooky.
Find the mop.
It's got to go to his get in the car, mate. You got to go drive to your thing.
Put the pad on the bottom.
Okay.
Pads on the bottom, all right?
Wow. I've never seen an electric steam mop before.
Never seen electric steam mop?
No.
Okay, well, go over to the tap now. Put some water in it.
Wow.
Whoop. I don't want it to overflow.
Oh, no.
Put the top back on.
Okay.
Make sure it's screwed down tight. Oh. Let's go over to the electric. So 2 things here I'm mixing. Water and electric. Probably not you should do this very often, okay?
Okay.
But I've used this before, as you can see.
Yeah, I can see really...
It's quite a small one, right? So this extends. What's red?
Oh!
All right. I get the reel out.
Jesus.
Plug it in. Popped it in. I've actually turned on the electric, unlike Spencer in all his impressions. He just plugged it in, didn't turn it on. So he maybe leaves his electric on. I turn it on.
do.
Can you get that goddamn steam mop out my face?
Right, on the floor. Ta-da! Quick news. Let the hordes of chaos know your fear. Because we've got Warhammer 40,000 Bolt Gun turning up on May 23rd, 2023. So load up your bolt gun and unleash the awesome Space Marine arsenal to blast your way through an explosion of sprites, pixels and blood in a perfect blend of Warhammer 40,000 frenetic gameplay and stylish visuals of 90s retro shooter. Now guys, this is literally old school Doom and Warhammer 40k. What is there not to love with this game? And it's cheap as well.
It looks sick.
Yeah, it looks ace.
It looks so good.
Cannot wait.
I saw it and I thought, wow, this is a cool mod. Who's been making this project? And it's like, no, here it is. Like, this is done. It's out like next week. I was like, Jesus Christ, this is going on the fucking wish list immediately. I was like, whoa, this looks so cool. Can't wait for this. So in.
This is one for the Steam Deck for me.
Oh, that's a great choice.
Yeah, I'm off on holiday soon, so this is going on the Steam Deck to play on the plane.
That's
100%.
That's a great choice. That really is. What about yourself, Spence? You're not exactly a Warhammer connoisseur, are you? So, what do you think about this? Game for Virgin, like all Warhammers, apparently?
I mean, yeah, I'm not a big Warhammer guy. I'm also not a Doom guy, as we know, because I would
young.
be. Yeah, I just haven't played them. I suppose I am just too young. But I got the trailer on right now. I'm watching it right now. This looks sick.
Yeah, it
This
does,
looks
doesn't it?
really good. Like, it's actually blowing me away. Like the little cutscenes, the pixelated cutscenes and stuff I'm looking at as well. Kind of reminded me of like Turtles, the new Turtles game we played in that kind of sense. And just the environments, the way it's like fully 3D but pixelated. It all looks awesome. Everything about it. if I ignore the IP, it looks like a phenomenal game, and it looks like the kind of game where you actually can just ignore the IP. It just looks like just a really fun time. And then if you do like the IP, it's just a bonus for you. So I'll tell you what, it's on my wish list too. This could be a day one for me as well. This looks
Look at this.
fantastic.
Full house.
We are doing honor for the Emperor.
Incredible, incredible. Well, that brings us to the end of Quick News. We've had 3 each, some brilliant impressions and some not so brilliant impressions. But now is the time to hoist the winners high on that chair of success and punch down to the losers that cannot do an impression of a microwave. Spencer, coming over to you first. Now, what was your favourite of this evening?
Mate, it's not even a question. That strimmer was absolutely insane. I can't wait to watch the clip of that we're going to put on Twitter about 20 times. You sounded like a NASCAR going around the track. It was like
Well, it sounded
amazing.
like a strimmer, surely.
It was, yeah, but you did it so like guttural. It was fantastic. I was there. I could see, if I closed my eyes, you were there on your lawn sorting it out. It was immense. 100%. Easily the winner for the night. Nothing else compares to that one.
Yes. Well, I appreciate that, Spence. Thank you for that pick. Now, Davey, coming over to you. Are you going to be backing Spencer up on that?
100%. Yeah, honestly, the thing about it is, a strimmer is quite hard because it's a multifaceted sound on a strimmer.
There's a couple of things going on, isn't there?
There is, and what I enjoyed is with a strimmer. I've recently been strimming the garden, and the way it works, you get a very different sound when it's up in the air compared to when it's down strimming shit. Like completely different sound, and you nailed both. And as soon as you got into the actual like the cutting of it, it was literally bang on. It was wild. It was actually really good. Like, a lot of our impressions will be like, oh, that was good, but generally they're quite shit, right? All the time will be like that, where they actually don't sound anything like that animal or that creature or that object, but they're quite amusing, so they're good. That was actually just a good impression. So, yeah, 100% well done.
I don't know what to say, guys. I'm blown over. I think I found my calling.
I think
You're
this
a
is...
strimmer.
If anyone
this is your niche.
needs an impression of a strimmer, garden strimmer, from the allotment, give me a call. DMs are open. My favourite of the night, I guess it doesn't really matter, but I quite enjoyed Davey's cooker.
Oh.
Quite enjoyed your cooker. There was a lot of inconsistencies with that,
Yeah.
and we're filling in a lot of gaps, but it made me laugh the hardest. So I'm going to deem that my favourite.
Oh, thank you very much.
So 2-1-0. I'll take the win, but ultimately, as we know on this show, it means Jack. Now, let's go over to the losers of this evening. Davey, I'm going to come to you first. Who was your worst and why?
So my worst, and unfortunately, it doesn't really have any competition as far as I'm concerned. And it is Spencer's blender. And the reason for it, I liked the build-up. I liked what that he was offering, to make the drinks and all that. And for some reason, I don't know how we got into this habit, but then it became a habit that we just went with because it was just ongoing. Then at that point, we were building off it. It was like there was always just like a story that was happening for all of them. And it kind of began very early on. And then we all adopted it, and then we all started getting really stupidly long with them. And I quite enjoyed that. I did quite enjoy.
So Spencer's fault. It's the blender's fault.
No, not at all. The reason why the blender falls down is because it was exactly the same impression and exactly the same sound as his previous one directly before it, which I think was a Hoover. Yeah.
And his microwave, they all sound the same.
The microwave, at least you had a couple of different sounds, and I liked that he was making like the click noise for everything. So
I did like that.
So that was good. So
There was a comedy element.
yeah, because it was bad, and then he played off it, and it made it better, right? Whereas the blender just literally was the Hoover. You put your strawberries in that in a Hoover, so it just didn't work.
It done, mate.
It didn't work for me at all. It didn't work for me, that one.
That's fair enough.
You've joined at the right point, Spencer. So what was your worst of this evening and why?
I think It was mine. You guys had great impressions tonight. I can't really even try give it to one of you boys. I wouldn't say it was my blender though, because I found my blender funny. I think my Hoover was my worst.
Oh, yeah, there's one that started it off, I
Yeah,
guess.
because it was before the fun,
Yeah.
really, and that's what it was. Whereas the blender improves upon. And I think if you put a blender and a Hoover next to each other, they'll sound quite similar.
I think
I had the top falling off the blender and everything, it going everywhere.
I
made a
liked all
mess.
that. I liked all that. I did like all that. It was just
Didn't
the
mention it, mate.
it was the sound though. It was just the actual impression. The impression
Fair
laid
enough.
down. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, fair enough. Both my decision on who was the best and who was the worst, none of it matters because you guys made up your own minds. So, Spencer, unfortunately, you're going to be a shot in the dock because I'm going to agree with you. And I think your Hoover was the worst. You did improve things with your blender, and it sounded more like a blender than a Hoover because a Hoover sucks. You didn't suck. You did suck.
Sucked a bit too much.
Sucked a bit too
Sucked
much.
in the wrong way.
So let's move things on. I'll put that shot in the dock, as I said, and let's move things over to Rumour Has It.
Kick it.
Wake up with a rumour and you don't want to go. You ask if it's confirmed and they still say no.
Well, guys, I said before that we had 2 separate rumors for you, and those rumors are coming at you like hot spunk from Spencer's dad that you're drowning in. So sit back, enjoy, and revel in this. So, rumor has it, and by the way, the button is off.
I was just about to interrupt then and save you.
Yeah,
Because
thank
you have got way too many shots in that dock. I just updated Spencer's shot for failing quick news, and I thought, Jesus, it's going to be a messy episode. Number 70, you boys are going to be suffering for days after that episode with the amount of shots you've got in there.
Yes.
So I'm trying to help you out here.
Thank you. Yeah, button is off for this, by the way. Right. Resident Evil 9 is starting to hit the rumor mill. So apparently, this is what we know. This was rumored. That it's called Apocalypse. Like his predecessor, Village, is basically combining the Roman numerals in there to make Apocalypse be spelt, apparently. The key points with this is the return of Chris Redfield and Jill Valentine. Now, we know that Chris Redfield survives this game because 16 years later, he's mentioned for the ending of 8.
Yes.
So we know that that's the case. But apparently this is the last outing for these characters in Resident Evil. Now, apparently the story follows Chris. He heads towards the BSAA in Europe right after the end of RE Village without mentioning the history and continuation of the Winters. So a separate thing. For those that haven't played Village before, minor spoilers here. It's not really going to spoil any of the game, to be honest with you. But right at the end, you have a section where you play as Chris, and he kills a guy, like a soldier that's there, takes the mask off it, and realizes that it's the BSAA, and they've got like zombies.
Are you
that are
sure
doing
it's Chris? Doesn't look like Chris, does it?
Why? It is.
It is
Chris?
Chris. It is Chris. But he doesn't look like Chris, does it?
That's in 7. He doesn't look
He
like
looks
Chris.
dramatically different, doesn't he?
7.
That's in 7.
Oh, right. Okay.
In Village, he's back to normal
Now
Chris.
he's back to normal Chris.
He's back to normal Chris
yeah,
in Village. Yeah.
7, he looks terrible.
In 7, he looks like he's just generic. Someone hit the default button on the character creator menu. It's diabolical. But yeah, Village is back to normal Chris. Yeah. He's a beefcake. He's a big beefy lad, and he looks like a handsome boy. But anyway, point is that yes, you're going back off and you're going to wage some war, and it's a good chance to be able to potentially have zombies and stuff like that. What they're saying is in this that it's going to be mythological enemies are back. So much like we had werewolves and stuff in Village, and I thought they did a good job of actually explaining that and how they all work. But they're saying it's going to be like Wendigo-like creatures. And zombies are set to return partially. So that's what is rumoured, guys. Thoughts on this one?
I mean, it all sounds well and good. I think it sounds great. I'd love to see a Chris and Jill campaign. In fact, I'd be desperate for it. I'd adore it, especially Jill. I haven't seen her since RE5, and even then, You saw her for a fight.
Yeah.
And that was it. And she was blonde for some reason with a big spider on her chest. It's like, bring her back. Just bring her back. And Chris, especially since 8, when you got that segment, you got the players, Chris, was bloody awesome.
Yeah, it was.
You felt so powerful. Chris, man, he's so sick. I'd love to see this campaign happen. But Village came out how long ago?
Yeah.
Year and a half, 2
2
years
years
ago. And the gap between 7 and 8, quite a bit bigger than
Yeah.
that. We're hearing about 9 now. And the thing is, I think if we just heard the title, I'd be like, oh, okay, sure. There's so much information. There's too much information that it's, you know, when someone lies to you and they're a bad liar, so they keep piling on to the lie and adding more facts that end up making it just blatantly bullshit.
Yeah.
That's what this seems like to me. It's something I'd love to believe, but there's just too much there. There's no way all of this is true. So I'm a bit, I'd like it to be true, but I don't think it is.
What about yourself, Ms. Toy?
I think it's utter trash. Complete trash. It's like someone who has some semblance of knowledge about Resident Evil, and they've just picked out all the kind of obvious things that they could see in the next game. They haven't tried to progress the story, and they're not trying to stick along the whole line of 333. They're not going to go down the Winters Avenue. They're just trying to please people and get clicks with this information. I think it's complete trash. And I read in the comments on Twitter after this particular post, which we're referencing, I think the vast majority agree with me on this one, because there's lots of memes now going around based around this post, and they are coming up with their own ridiculous names with the Roman numerals included in them, which are very funny. But no, I don't agree with this post. I do like some of the things that he references, and he says that's semi-confirmed for Resident Evil 9, because they're the obvious things we would look for and want within the game. But I think, yes, they're just trying to play the crowd with this post very much.
Yeah, I 100% agree with both of you. I think you both bang on with this. Total bullshit. Total bullshit post. We're at least 18 months off, I reckon, from seeing, well, if you want to be kind, 12 months off. Realistically, probably 18 months before we hear, or before we really know kind of all the detail about the next Resident Evil game. Say they've had 2 years in development on this. Obviously, there's multiple studios, just had the kind of A team, I suppose, who worked on Resident Evil 2 remake and now Resident Evil 4 remake. That's out the door. So RE9 makes sense to be next, unless there's a remake that kind of gets announced out of left field. Do I like some of this? Yes. Yes, I do. I really like the idea of Chris and Jill going in to take on the BSAA and sort them out. They were both BSAA agents in the past, so, and they're not anymore. We don't know why that is. We don't know the story that's happened there. I think it's a lot they could tell in that story. Am I gutted if they do move away from the Winters storyline? Kinda. I'm more worried with the Winters than anything now. Because Rose, how the hell do you manage that? She's like a beast now.
Because she's got superpowers.
Because she's got busted. She's Alice, basically.
It's very much the movie, isn't it?
Yeah. So I'm worried about that. And the fact if it was called Apocalypse sets me down. That was what Resident Evil 2 was called, I think, the movie. And that was a fucking abomination.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
That's
it was an
very true.
abomination. They absolutely butchered my boy. Nemesis had a fucking love story with Alice. Butchered that film off. Terrible film.
That is also, though, the first time we see Jill Valentine.
It is. And that scene is cool, where she's in the church. Or whatever.
You see her in a police station. First time you see her.
I remember that scene where she's in a church, and then Alice breaks through the fucking stained glass window on a motorbike.
Yeah.
As you do, very Resident Evil.
Very Resident Evil. Very on brand. So, yeah, terrible, terrible movie. And this is obviously a terrible, terrible rumor. Total bullshit. Total bullshit. So we're in agreement on that one, lads. Next up, and the second rumor today, rumor has it, and it's to do with our beloved Call of Duty. Call of Duty 2023, as we know, the original rumors that were going around was that it was going to be a no standalone release for COD, and it was going to be an addition, an add-on, like a kind of mid-game or end-of-life cycle update for Modern Warfare 2. We since had that debunked when Activision CEOs and stuff, stakeholder meetings came out and said, no, there's a fully priced Call of Duty coming out in 2023. Well, the first rumors for this have started. Now, apparently it's going to be called Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. And this is from Insider Gaming. The game will have its own large Warzone map with its Season 1 launching December 5th, 2023. Apparently the game is going to launch November 10th, 2023. And developed by Sledgehammer, which we knew before that it was developed by Sledgehammer. Features a campaign, multiplayer, zombies, and of course, as I mentioned, a new Warzone 2 map. Spencer, come back round to you. Thoughts on this one?
I mean, the main thing is just zombies, man. Forgive it me. It's weird. It's weird to have zombies in a Modern Warfare title, but seeing as we're going from a Modern Warfare straight to another Modern Warfare, it makes sense to just do it every second iteration.
Yeah,
I suppose. So it's fine. And the thing is, because this isn't a Black Ops, because this is a Modern Warfare title, they could be really creative with how they do the zombies. It doesn't have to be Nazi zombies anymore.
It doesn't. I will temper your excitement a little. The rumor is apparently with the zombies mode that it's much like the zombies we had on the last iteration of zombies, where it's that bullshit zombies mode. So apparently it's not like 3 large-scale original maps that you're running around and doing Easter eggs. Apparently it's not.
So not like the zombies people enjoy.
Yeah, it's not like actual zombies. It's the kind of half-assed zombies. That's apparently that's the rumor. That's the rumor that goes alongside that.
If that's true, I'm devastated.
Yeah.
Truly devastated. Because not only was that the least fun part of that Call of Duty, it also made the platinum suck.
Yeah.
And the platinum for Call of Duty is always really fun, except for that iteration of Call of Duty, because you had to kill 10,000 zombies. And it took, I think, 4 hours of me just with a podcast on, stood in an alley, holding R2. It was boring. Absolutely boring. I hope they don't do that. But aside from that, ignoring zombies, campaign is going to be great. Multiplayer is Call of Duty. It's going to be great. I just hope it has the same passion put into it that Modern Warfare 2 has, where we have the raids, the seasons, the new maps coming in, all the new game modes, infection, bloody gunfight, all that. If all that just rings true, all of that comes back to this, it's Call of Duty, man. It's a great time. They don't miss. They don't miss, except for that one iteration with that bad weapons. That one missed. That one missed. That was Stormtrooper aim. That one flying. But every other iteration, perfect. This just needs to follow suit.
So, true or false? What do you reckon?
True as hell. Actually, insanely true. I didn't even really want to talk about any of this because all of it just looks like people say, "What do you think COD's going to be?" Anyone could say all of this. You wouldn't need to be smart. You need to have played a Call of Duty title to know all of this stuff.
Yeah.
Any of them, because they always release around November time. The second iteration always has campaign, multiplayer, zombies, and they're always chucking in Warzone maps now. It all makes sense. It's 100% true. Other than maybe the date. November 10th is so specific for so far away.
Fair enough. What about yourself, Pistoy? What are your thoughts on this?
Well, what more is there to really say? I think Spencer's covered it pretty much in its entirety and wrapped a little bow around it and said, thank you very much. This is 100% true. And I have to echo his thoughts with a lot of this. Much like the Resident Evil rumor, there's a lot of facts there. But with this one, they're facts that I can believe.
Yeah.
Not just ones that I feel like they're just saying to please me.
Yeah.
So that's the difference. But 100%, I think this is true, and I think we'll be playing it come November 10th.
Do you know what, guys? I can't believe this. Rare occasion that all three of us agree, especially twice in a row. And yeah, I totally agree with you guys. I think it's totally true. The interesting thing with this, and this will really depend, and I suppose we'll know with the betas, if this is true and it's coming in November, we'll start seeing our first beta, trying to think now, late August, early September, we'll start seeing our first kind of beta for this. And if the rumor apparently before was that, as I said, it was going to be that additional kind of add-on, Modern Warfare 2. So I imagine we're not going to see much difference from the game that we've already been playing for this entire year. That's both a benefit and a negative. For those people that don't like Modern Warfare 2, this isn't going to win them over. I'm just hoping they make a couple of different quality of life changes that do separate it out. Ideally, perk system, fix the spawns, few different things that they can do to improve the experience. But we'll wait and see. But yeah, all in agreement on this. And if anything to go by, I don't think we'll have long to wait to be able to see this. Not long at all. Speaking of things that aren't long away, let's move it on to the topic.
Stop! Topic time!
So, boys, listeners, watchers, we have finally made it to the topic. It's been a long episode, but it's been a whole lot of fun. And I think it's time we finish it off with a juicer, absolute juicer of a topic. Now, I know we've been speculating quite a lot, but this time, yeah, we're speculating a bit more. Let's be honest. This is it. I mean,
Yeah.
come on. It's a podcast. What are we going
Let's
to
do it.
We're not just going to tell you facts. We got to give some ingenuity, some innovation. We got to think about stuff. And that's exactly what we're going to do. So for the topic, finally, long sought after, long rumored, leaked. All the leaks were wrong. And eventually, the time no one was mentioning it, bam, Sony come out. Showcase. Oh, baby. We got a showcase happening on May 24th. This is the first showcase we've actually had since the 9th of September 2021. It's been a long, bloody time. Absolute ages. And everyone's every single week getting rumors. And Sony were just like, tell you what, you're all wrong. It's this day. It's only 4 days away. It's soon. So what better to do than speculate about what they might show? Now, you prefaced this earlier, Davey. You kind of said we do the usual format, the safe, possible, crazy. We don't want to talk forever because it's a showcase. It's Sony. It's an hour long, they've said. They're going to be showing a lot.
And they said that they want to own the mind share. So they're coming out big dick swinging for this. Plopping it down. Hanging by your knees. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys bring to the table on this. 100%. Oh, exciting times.
Likewise, mate. Likewise. I'd love to hear you guys' things. And I think to kick it off, we start with our safe, as we do. And Phil, I'm going to come to you first. I'm very, very keen to know what you think they're going to show us. So lay it on me.
So I'm going to pick the low-hanging fruit, which is Marvel Spider-Man, because it's the only real first-party PS5 game with a 2023 release. And all we've seen so far is the pre-rendered CGI trailer for it. So some actual gameplay captured on PS5 is what I'm expecting.
Okay. So it needs to be full gameplay for you to get it. Did they announce any like special editions, any plates, any
Is this part of my prediction, or do you...
Yes, it's a safe. It's a safe.
A safe. I've got to build on what I predicted.
Yeah.
I'm saying gameplay.
Okay. All right.
That's a pretty big one to see gameplay.
What do you reckon, Spence? We know Spidey's obviously going to be there, innit?
It's out soon, man.
But it just might be
It's
another
out really
trailer.
soon.
You never know.
Okay. All right. Well,
Gameplay.
Yeah, gameplay.
We'll allow
trailer.
it. Yeah, we'll allow it then. We'll allow it. Release date, or do we already know it?
Well, we know it's happening in 2023. And then we've been rumoured of the exact date, haven't we?
So do you reckon they announced full release date?
You just don't want me to get this shot, don't you?
I think that's I think that's fair.
Fine.
I think that's fair.
Fine. I'll go with that then. Gameplay and a date.
Okay.
What's the date?
No, that would be wild. That would be wild. And I think that's fair. I don't think that's asking too much.
I think we could have a guess though. When do you think they're gonna release it? Not part of the gamble.
Okay.
But what's your estimate? We usually
Well,
do
if we know COD's out in November, say if that rumor's correct, stay away from that. You want to be able to compete. I think we've said before, and I think we've all been in agreement that we were talking about September, October.
We said September because it's the same as Starfall, isn't it?
Mm.
Is it Starfield or Starfall?
Starfield.
Starfield. Yeah, Xbox game. Who knows?
Yeah, no one cares.
Yeah, this getting delayed.
Yeah,
anyway.
I'm going September. I was thinking what we said before. We can all go for the same thing if you want.
We've been agreeing all episode.
Let's agree again.
It's just
Yeah.
11 this episode, isn't it?
Let's agree again. September.
I'll go end of September.
Well, I'll go mid.
I was gonna say week 3.
Oh, week 3. Yeah, that's kind of that's like between. Yeah, all right. Yeah, cool.
I was literally gonna say
Week 3 is
Look
strong.
at us in
Like
agreement, boys.
22nd, 22nd, something like that.
21st.
Oh,
Jeez.
fucking
Jeez.
hell.
Wait, what day is the 21st? I'm about to
Yeah,
find
I'm
out.
gonna look.
September.
Is that a shot?
I reckon it's coming out. I reckon it's coming out Tuesday, 19th of September.
Oh, you bitch. I literally just saw 21st as a Thursday. I think you're bang on. I completely agree. The 19th. Which is week 3. By
Yeah.
the way.
Yeah.
There we are.
I'm going at 3 o'clock. Just the
Sounds a
final
weird time to
final
release a
week
game.
of September. But that's not for my shot.
No, there's
I'm
nothing
just
like
saying
No.
gameplay and a date.
Okay.
For my save.
Huge. Bless. Davey, mate, what is your safe prediction?
So my safe, and I'm being a little bit risky with this because I think I could be a lot safer, but we did see what looked like a real trailer for this, and it's since been radio silent on it. I think we're going to see as a safe Helldivers 2. I think it's going to be Helldivers 2, and obviously the trailer for it will have gameplay, 100%. If I have to on the same lines, even though it's a lot riskier going for Helldivers 2 than Spider-Man, I'd say date 100%, yeah.
Yeah, if I'm going for date, you have to go date.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
So gameplay and date for Helldivers 2.
100%. I reckon it's a damn cert. I reckon it's a lock. Hence why it's safe. What about yourself, though, Spence? What are you going for?
For my safe, it was going to be Spider-Man 2. Which, obviously, that's
You've
why.
been so kind to me
Pass the
putting me
film.
first.
Yeah,
We
exactly.
all had it as our safe, I'm sure.
Yeah,
we,
it's guaranteed.
but for the first timers, by the way, we can't pick the same thing. So if somebody's already picked it, we can't pick the same thing. So that's why we're all having to scramble after Spidey's been taken.
And that's the beauty of being first.
It is. It is.
For my safe, I've just changed my mind.
Wow.
For my safe, and you can call me a madman if you want. Silent Hill 2. Gameplay.
Ooh.
Gameplay.
Ooh.
Gameplay. No date. I'm not saying a date.
We've all said date. If you're seeing gameplay, generally you get a date.
And it is supposed to be out this year.
Fine. I smacked my mic then. Sorry, listeners. We'll put a date on there as well. October 12th.
What are you going to say the date? You madman.
Put a donk on it. Come on.
No,
You've put the date, right?
I'm going to say date and gameplay trailer.
Okay. Gameplay.
Silent Hill 2.
Okay. Strong.
All right.
Strong. I think you've got a very strong chance. The complicated thing, the hard thing about a lot of these now is you've got a choice between if it's going to be shown here or at the Summer Game Fest.
True.
That's the hard thing. That's the hard
Where's the
decision.
biggest audience, though? That's the thing, isn't it?
It's not so much about that. It's about who have they got marketing deals with.
Yeah.
Who have they put
Who
the
have they got
money
the
in
agreement with?
and they got the agreement for that they're going to market it. And that's where it comes down to. So for those games they don't have that, I imagine they'll go straight over to Summer Game Fest.
So you're saying third parties more likely at Summer Game Fest?
More likely, but
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
the
So
Silent Hill though, I'm sure that's a PlayStation deal.
It's a PS5
yeah.
exclusive.
So I think it's I think that's a really strong save. I think it's a great save.
Yeah, I double checked. That's why I Googled. I was like, was that announced exclusive? So it was. Then I checked the date and it was announced. The teaser was in October 2022. And I thought, oh, yeah,
Oh yeah, it's about time.
Gotta be.
It's about time.
gotta be
yeah.
in it.
Great one. Great
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, thank you, mate. So, Phil, moving back around to you, keeping it in a circle. We've been good with circles today. Phil, round to you. What is your possible choice for the showcase?
Right, so I'm going to stick with first party. And if we're saying Insomniac is going to be there, I'm also going to say Naughty Dog is going to be there. Okay?
Okay.
Now, I think we might be seeing a teaser trailer for Factions.
You took my possible as well.
Teaser trailer.
Teaser trailer for Factions.
Ooh.
I'm not saying gameplay. I'm not saying date. I'm just saying we'll see some sort of trailer for it.
Oh, so you're changing it to see some sort of trailer. So it's not a teaser.
Well, teaser trailer or trailer.
A teaser is some sort
It's
of
some
trailer.
sort of
A
trailer.
teaser's like a tiny trailer where they show bugger all though in it. Like the Mortal Kombat one would be like more of a teaser, where it doesn't show any gameplay. It's kind of the announcement for it.
A teaser is like when they first showed God of War
Yes,
Ragnarok,
yeah.
where they just put the logo.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah. Yeah. So you're thinking it's that, or do you think it's more? It's just a trailer, like a full couple of minute jobby.
I don't think it's a couple of minutes. I think it's more along the lines of a teaser.
Okay, fair
With
enough.
this one.
Fair enough. They did say we'd wait until this year to hear about it, so it's on brand.
So we're going to see something from it.
Yeah.
In a trailer. Not gameplay, necessarily.
Okay. All right.
That's what I'm going.
Respect.
Nice.
Respect.
All right.
You bastard. Taking all my picks. I knew you would. Davey, mate, moving across to you. What is your possible?
So my possible is that we're going to see the Metal Gear Solid 3 remake. I think that it's a Sony. I think they've put the money down and they got this. And the reason why I think it's going to be here and not at Summer Game Fest is because Sony put that cash down. They put that cash down, that big paycheck, that big donger, and slapped it down on Konami and said, here we go. You can open up some more fucking gyms, you slag. And that's it. And boom. And there's been so many rumors flowing around about this for such a long time at this point. You know, the voice actress for the song is in the studio. I think it's an announcement. I think with this, there is going to be a trailer. It's going to show very little.
So a teaser trailer.
I reckon it's like an announcement trailer.
What defines a teaser trailer to an announcement trailer?
Yeah, to be fair, I was wrong. The God of War one was an announcement trailer. Really?
Yeah.
That wasn't a teaser. A teaser is more like the Mortal Kombat one where they show maybe a bit of a
Yeah,
cutscene.
but there's something there. I think there's going to be Metal Gear Solid 3. Oh, no, but the rumor's been going wild for this. And if they're in there doing that and they're laying down the soundtrack, they're late into dev. I reckon they're going for a trailer. Full trailer.
Full trailer.
Full trailer.
Woo!
MGS. MGS.
Getting spicy.
Yeah, I'm going for it. Fuck it. Full trailer.
Full trailer.
Yeah.
And how do you think they'll announce it? Do you think it'll just turn to a black screen?
Yes.
And then you'll hear...
Bum, 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 bum.
Oh, you're going to hear that music, right?
That's not part of the bet. I don't lose out if I get that. But I reckon that if I was to start it, you start it in one of two ways.
Go on then.
You either start it with...
hidden in a box on stage all along, and it's the last thing.
like we always say.
David Hayter comes out.
The biggest ladder gets rolled out.
I reckon what you do is you start it off and it's just black screen. And then it's just like... And it's the scene where it's Boss and Snake standing in the rose petal field. And she's speaking to him. And you open with that. And then it's just like... And then just the theme just swells. And then it's just like moments from the game. Like the moments of like shooting electric out, the moments where he's in the helicopter getting it blasted, that kind of stuff. Like all the kind of more CG moments that happen across MGS3. A kind of quick cut trailer over that with the music going, and everyone will go fucking wild. But I think you open with that moment with him and Boss opposite each other, because it's so iconic in that petal field and their fight. But just where they're standing there chatting to each other before it all kicks off.
Do you think that's how they're going to end the conference or the showcase?
Oh,
Or do you think this is going to be the first thing they show?
I think
Because it'll either have to be slot 1 or slot 10, the end.
I think you open with Spidey to set the pace. Everyone knows it's going to be there,
And this is the ender.
This is the ender. Yeah, I think it's.
It'd be crazy if it was.
It'd be immense. It'd be immense.
This would be the point where people are going to sell their Xboxes and buy PlayStations.
It'd be wild. And
like
I mean,
literally.
I'm not even like I love MGS. Like I always say, it's nowhere near as good as the other two, but it's like
still Metal Gear Solid.
It's still MGS3.
Yeah.
It's still fucking sick. And if it is shown, I will go nuts for it.
Yeah, me
Even
too.
though I want MGS1, I will go fucking spare for it. And I think you're right. I think it is something that would end a conference, I think.
I would prefer them to pan up and there's just Otacott saying, "Love only blossoms on a battlefield."
Oh, and it's MGS1.
That would be so much
my
better.
God,
And they've
can
just
you
been
imagine?
teasing you with Metal Gear Solid 3.
If it was MGS1, that would break the internet, I think.
Hindy.
Oh my God. Oh my God. If they just had that moment just where you're just flying through the water in that one person submersible SUV.
That would be the best. Yeah.
And it's just him
that
chatting.
music's building, yeah.
And it's just him chatting to fucking Colonel Campbell. Oh my God. Even if it was just that entire thing where he's like, who are you up against? You're up against members of Foxhound. And
That sends shivers up my spine.
oh my God, that would be so hype.
Oh,
That was so sick. But I'm going for this. I'm keeping it on MGS3 just because the rumors are going wild. And so it makes sense to me.
so you're crazy as Metal Gear Solid 1. Well, we'll wait
Definitely
till we
not.
get to that.
We'll wait.
We all know what a crazy is.
What about yourself, Spence? Bring it home for this. Bring it home with the possibles.
Right, well, once again, my possible's gone. So what I'm going to put up for my possible, we've had an announcement trailer. I think we're going to get a teaser trailer
Okay.
for Insomniac's Wolverine.
Ooh. Okay. All right.
It's been a while. It's been, well, since they announced Spider-Man 2.
2021.
It's been ages.
Yes, it's 2021.
Yeah. Bloody ages. I think we're at the least getting a teaser trailer. I'm not going to say we get a full-on trailer because I think it'd be insane if we got a full-on trailer and Spider-Man at the same time. No way. I think just a teaser trailer, no date, maybe a year.
Really? Think a year on
But
it? I want to hold
maybe.
you to that, but
I think a teaser trailer. I think we are getting a teaser
Wow.
trailer.
wow, it'd be big if we do. It'd be really big if we do.
It'd be huge.
Yeah, it's ballsy. It's a ballsy possible. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Really is.
Yeah. I think they'd open as well. Like you said, they'd open with Spider-Man. And I think it'd go straight from that, show the Insomniac logo again, straight into Wolverine.
What, do a double hitter? No way. You got to space. That's
Double
a big
hitter.
dick, man. You got to space that out with some of the VR content, stuff like that.
Nah.
Yeah. You wouldn't want to double. If you double that, people are gonna have heart attacks, bro.
Double dip.
Jesus, can
Exactly.
you imagine?
You don't double dip on Insomniac, mate.
No, not.
You
Oh,
double
wow.
dip.
You're double dipping.
You double dip. It's what they did last time. They announced Spider-Man 2 and immediately announced Wolverine. I think they're doing it again.
Jesus Christ. Well, I mean, fuck.
And now we're going to get crazy after that.
Yeah, all right. Let's get some crazies then.
Moving on, lads. I think we're probably done talking about Insomniac for this showcase. Phil, lay it on me. What is the craziest thing they're going to show?
Okay, well, you say we're done for Insomniac. Now, this is a crazy one. I'm going to throw it out there and we'll see what happens. Now, I know Sony really want to push the PSVR 2. So what I'm thinking they've done to further promote Marvel Spider-Man is that they're going to do what they did with Horizon and bring out a Spider-Man VR. Almost mini game, short game, just something to build people's interest. And I think they're going to release it straight away. They're going to be like, you can swing around the city as Spider-Man in VR.
Wow. So
Nah.
kind of like what they did
Whoa.
with the Homecoming release.
Movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
But just done by Insomniac themselves. They
Done
dip
by
into
Insomniac.
VR.
Yeah, they're going to dip into VR as it's a promotional thing now to build for the full PS5 game and do a Horizon.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Be wild.
Crazy, right?
It'd be great. I'd be dusting off that VR immediately.
I'd be buying a PSVR 2 for this. It'd be incredible. Incredible to be Spider-Man in VR.
Yeah, it'd be sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the
Agreed.
movement. I don't want combat. I just want to swing around.
I would-
Very simplistic.
I would be sick as hell doing
Yeah,
it. But
yeah.
I would love every minute of it.
Yeah.
It'd be class. You'd want to set up like a hammock in your room and then just get you like someone to push you. And then you wee.
You want one of those, like, you know, you put like a baby in and they like bounce.
Oh yes.
You almost want one of those for an adult
Yeah.
as you're got your VR on. Be incredible.
That would be sick. Yeah. I really like that.
Crazy idea, but please make it happen.
That's wild. That is crazy. I never in a million years thought that'd come out your mouth. Do you think it's done by Insomniac as well?
Well, I've already gone pretty crazy, but yeah, I'd want it to be done by Insomniac.
So I don't think, did Gorilla do Call of the Mountain?
No.
No.
No. So it was you might want to fact check me on this. I think it was Fire Sprite, but I could be wrong.
I think it was Fire Sprite. I might be wrong. It was Fire Sprite and Gorilla. They worked together.
Nice.
Well, there we go. It could be Insomniac and Fire Sprite. Fire Sprite might be just the go-to VR guys to like build hype for other games.
Oh god, they'll have to put some fucking work. They'd be like, Jesus, we just got to get our last game out. Oh, thank God. It's a mammoth task. That really well done though, guys. Great. Yeah, guys. We need this Spider-Man.
Spider-Man's coming out, and then you'll get a
And
VR
and
Wolverine.
We need to release in like 2 months. What? But yeah, fuck them. Why not?
Fuck 'em.
Fucking put them to work.
It's a crazy, isn't it? Why
It's
not?
got to be crazy.
Wild. All right, Davey, mate. Outdo it What is really being shown? What crazy?
Speaking of Insomniac,
Oh,
there's
here we go.
a little game that always comes up in my crazies, and this is no exception, and it will continue until this crazy comes to life. We are seeing Resistance in any form. It's the same one I have used time and time again for a crazy, and I will continue to bang this drum. Do I think it's going to really happen? No, not a hope in hell, but I'm willing it into existence. And if I keep banging the drum long enough, somebody will listen. This is what I'm thinking.
But
This is the way.
It's got to happen at some stage, right?
I don't
some
think
stage.
so.
Do you think they're going to release Resistance in the time we continue to do this podcast?
No.
No.
I think it's done. And it makes you really sad.
Yeah.
Because part of me, right, a couple of years ago, I honestly thought that there was still hope.
Yeah.
But the amount of blue balling that Insomniac do
all
on
the
a
time.
weekly basis, I now just think that no, this not on the
They're
cards.
starting to tag you in that now.
They might as well.
They've heard this podcast. They're like, do you know what I'll have, Davey? Another post
Do you know what makes it worse
of
as well?
Nathan Hale's leg.
Oh, I'm being followed by this Resistance Twitter account called the Resistance Sentinels, and they're like me on steroids. So what they do is every single post by Insomniac, they try and link it back to Resistance, even though it's not even remotely related. So Insomniac today tweeted out a picture of a PS1 game they did. I can't remember the name of it now, but it's a car racing game, like a Destruction Derby thing. And someone said, this reminds me of the time that Nathan Hale went up against that Chimera, and he just this random
I love it.
Chimera
I love
battle. And I thought that has nothing to do with this
Also,
whatsoever.
anytime Kojima posts anything,
Yeah,
everyone's like, "What's it mean?"
it's Metal Gear. And so I'm down bad for it. I don't really think it's going to happen, but it's my biggest hope. It really is. Like, we were talking earlier about the fact that there's not many multiplayer games. It would be so hype if
Your
it came back
biggest hope,
on PlayStation at the moment. Yeah,
rather than Metal Gear Solid 1.
yeah. All right, that's my biggest hope.
Yeah.
That's my biggest hope. Resistance is quite a few steps below that in terms of height level, but would I go mental and would Kumbran be wiped off the face of the earth? Yes, it would. So that's what I want, and I'm not going to stop.
That's
asking
further
for it.
reason to do it.
Yeah, destroy it.
Destroy Kumbran.
Get rid of Kumbran. Announce Resistance in any form.
Wild.
Yeah, it's crazy, mate. It's crazy.
It is crazy. For my crazy boys, you might think this actually isn't that crazy, but
Here we go. Someone's playing the
hold on to
game.
your seats.
Here we
Hold
go.
on to your seats.
Here we
Hold on
go.
to your seats. I think this is a cross between just new games we know about, and VR game. I think they're going to show an Astros VR game.
Okay,
You might
nice.
think that's not that crazy. Day and date. I think it releases after the showcase.
Straight to PS Extra.
I was just going to say straight to if you have a PSVR 2, but yeah, that makes sense, I suppose. Yeah, straight to extra.
Wow. That would be hype.
That'd be sick.
That would
And
be
I
fucking
think,
insane.
I think that allows it to be a crazy. I don't think Astros is a crazy pick, but I think
No.
the day, if it comes out following the showcase, I think surely that's allowed.
Yeah, I'd allow it. Even if it didn't come into Extra, if it was just out that day, yeah. But I think there's always something nice when they're like, it's out today and on Extra.
Yeah.
Or I do like what they've been doing lately, where they've announced it and said, oh, it's part of next month's Extra catalogue.
Yeah, so you've got time to subscribe.
Like Chia, stuff like that. They've
Sure.
done that. And I think that's been really nice. And it's been like, oh, yeah, fuck yeah, sick. What a great lineup for next month. So I could see either. But yeah, awesome. Be well, fuck me. That'd be so good.
It'd be sick. I'm
Astros.
desperate for Astros.
Yeah, Astros is like one of the unsung heroes from PS5. 100%. I mean, you and me always say this, Spence, that Astros Playroom really is just so fucking underrated. It's
Yeah.
so good.
It's one of the best experiences. It
Yeah.
really is.
Yeah, it's immense. And we never got a chance to play the PSVR 1 version of Astros
Rescue Bot.
Astrobot Rescue. So yeah, I'm fucking down for that day one. If that
Yeah.
that gets announced, that's hype. I tell you what, we've got only a few days until we get to the conference. So I know we don't want to dwell too much on this, but are there any predictions that won't count for anything that you think may actually happen at the show? Anything that and I suppose at the same time, your excitement level going into this showcase from this point right now?
I mean, my excitement level at the minute is roughly an 8 to a 10. It's a 9.
It's a 9.
Because you got to think, for me, especially, for you and me, I suppose, everything they show applies to us because there are people like Phil, obviously, anything they announce with PSVR 2, unless it's like a reason to buy it, you're like, oh, I don't care about that. But for us, because we own one, yeah, if they announce Half-Life Alyx, that should have been crazy, mate. That'd have been great.
Is that crazy?
I don't think I would have allowed it in a crazy.
I don't think that's that crazy.
No,
It's been spoke about and not just by me. Obviously, I scream and shout about it at every opportunity whenever we talk about PSVR 2, but I don't feel like that's a crazy. I think that's more a possible by now.
Yeah,
I really do.
I'd agree, to be fair. Yeah, you are right. But I think anything they do show for PSVR 2, everything they show is going to be of interest to us because we have the PSVR 2. So I think there's not really much that I could be annoyed about them showing unless they show that Capcom game that I've already forgot what it's called.
Exoprimal.
Exoprimal. If they show Exoprimal, it goes straight down to a 7.
What if there's new operators?
Mate, no.
Come on.
Absolutely
Incredible.
not.
New dinosaurs?
Oh, yes.
You're in then.
That's his weakness.
It would piss me off if they dare showed Exoprimal. If they popped up saying Exoprimal has been cancelled, I would pop off. That's what would do it for me. But for me, it's like a 9. I think this showcase is going to be something really special.
What about yourself, Mr. Toy?
I'm on a 10. Just reading the description of this, focusing on PS5 games. Okay, the PSVR 2 games, like Spencer said. If there's a reason for me to buy it, this is going to be the place they're going to show it. And it's developments from top studios. Now, as long as they're not blueballing me or shitting me up on this, and it is Insomniac and it's Naughty Dog and it's all the developers that we want to hear from, which it should be, then this is a 10 out of 10 for me. I am over the moon excited for it. Cannot wait.
I gotta say, guys, I'm coming in straight with you, Mr. Hoy. I'm going straight 10 on this. I think we haven't had a showcase since 2021, and that showcase was fucking insane. It was like one of the best conferences I'd ever seen in my life. You come out and you're like, holy shit. And now we've seen a lot of the fruits from those showcases. We've seen Horizon. We've seen God of War. You know, God of War showing up in that showcase was nuts. And everyone was like, oh my God. And I remember myself being hyped, and I rode that hype through until its release. It ended up being my fucking second favorite game of all time. You know, it's wild. We're going to see shit from this that is going to be years away that we will be excited about 4 years. Will that be the reveal of whatever
Resistance
form comes our way? But no. Will it be a case that maybe we might see something in terms of Guerrilla's shadow IP that they're working on, this new IP that they've been rumored that they're working on themselves? Naughty Dog apparently are working or hard at work on a brand new IP. Could we potentially see that? Could we see Ghost Tsushima 2? Potentially. Could we maybe see some of the old franchises return, like Infamous, Killzone, Resistance? Any of these are big dick things. Could we see potentially Crystal Dynamics come in and they turn up with fucking Legacy of Kain and it's back? You know, there's so many possibilities, let alone the fact that we could have Bluepoint actually coming out around about now, announcing what they're doing, which I think is a very real possibility. I'm surprised that no one came out with Bluepoint, because I think we could very much see, the rumor is apparently it's a Bloodborne 2 or a Bloodborne remake or remaster.
Christ. That would be big.
That would be massive. That'd be massive.
I would scream.
And so if Bluepoint had been put on Bloodborne and that is coming out and that gets announced and that's out next year, that's already up there for a fucking 9 out of 10 conference, just on its own. Because that game is absolutely legendary and it's gained that notoriety in such a short period of time. So I think for me, if any of our predictions, or if a lot of them come in, it'll be already wild, right? It'd be an absolutely incredible showcase. If we get to hear what some of these studios, which what they're saying here, that we're going to see a lot of the PlayStation studios. If we get to see some of the fruits of this, and they are teaser trailers or whatever, but it sets up the next 3 years of PlayStation, I'm in, because they got the proof under them already that they can deliver. So it's not like Xbox, and it's a little bit different in a way. And I had this conversation with Lewis on Xbox The Box, but it's a different kettle of fish that we're in compared to Xbox. If Xbox come out and they show the next 3 years worth of games, it means nothing, and it's disappointing, because that's all they've done is blue ball people with showing what's coming. Whereas with us, it's very much a case of we've been radio silent, and things are coming out soon, and they're showing those soon. So we need to know what's coming next, and we've got faith that our studios will deliver. Whereas with Xbox, they need to come out and have games that are either good to go right there and then, or they have demos or something that people can try so their fears are allayed, right? And they walk away from the experience and say, oh, actually, yeah, I'm feeling good about this. This looks good for the future of Xbox. We don't need that. We can be showing stuff that's 5 years out at this point, and we're like, yep, in. Because the faith is there, it's been built up. So I think that this is going to be one that we walk away from and we think, Christ, that hour is nuts. Absolutely nuts. I think we're in for a really good time here, guys. I think we really are.
Life-changing.
Hopefully.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Podcast changing. We're going to get a lot of
Podcast
content from this, aren't we?
Oh, God, yeah.
Oh, the next
Yeah,
episode's
looking forward
gonna
to the future.
suck.
yeah,
Next
yeah.
episode's going to suck.
Yeah. Depending on how big it is, we might have to do a fucking emergency. We
Yeah.
might have to pull a breaking news fucking podcast out. So, depending on what it is. So, we'll wait and see. Of course, on the showcase itself, I'm sure that we're going to be doing a live stream for this with our reactions. I imagine we will.
Yep.
It's a big deal. So, if you're listening to this on the same day that the or the day early the showcase is out, then we normally stream over on Mr. Philip Hoy's Twitch,
Hello.
which is twitch.tv/VenomPhil.
Yep. Correct. Well remembered.
So we will be on that, going live, covering this. We'll be on a little bit beforehand to talk about our hype going in. Maybe our predictions may have changed, anything like that. We'll have a little look, see. But yeah, keep an eye on the socials. Guys, this has been episode 68. And what an episode it is. It is lovely to be on the cusp of something big happening. And to know it's actually happening is great.
You can
So
feel it, can't you?
the
Oh,
electricity's
it's bubbling.
building.
It's bubbling.
I'm
It
so
really
excited
is.
now.
Super hyped. I've had a lovely time chatting through all this with you guys, as always. Listeners, if you've enjoyed what you've been listening to today, please remember a couple of ways you can support us. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple, any podcast service that gives you the option to rate, please go on and rate the podcast. We are looking to build up our ratings because it helps us find a larger audience. And if you want us to grow, and you want us to be able to go in there and swing our big dick around a Big Daddy PlayStation and say, hey, bitch, make Resistance, we need those ratings. I don't make the rules here. This is what Jim Ryan said to me. He said, I won't talk to you unless you got 50 ratings. 5-star. I said, Jim, it's a big ask. We're at 22. And he said, Davey, there's one thing I know about you guys. You never shy away from a challenge. And I know that our audience aren't idiots. So you're going to rate it, aren't you? Because otherwise you're a fucking idiot. So, do me a favor. Other ways you can support if you are really looking to. You can go out your window and shout. That helps quite a lot. You can get a tattoo of our
Faces.
our faces. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really would
Love to see that. Really would love to see that.
I'd love a massive one, and it'd be done quite badly of me, so nobody can really tell. It's
I'd
me.
like it on a lower calf.
Yeah, oh, a lower
You know?
calf.
Yeah.
Thinking
Just as you're walking away, you got my face just there.
I want it on the head of your cock, please.
Wow.
So when you pull it back,
Wow.
your missus looks at it and thinks, "Wow, that's
You've
the
been listening
PSP
to him, Best We Trust.
That's the PSP Trust, lads."
That's wild.
That's what I want. But no, realistically, like and subscribe if you're on YouTube. It really helps. And that's it. That's it, guys. That's our show.
Game over.
To a close. And by the way, if you want to get involved, sorry, I'm just too busy thinking about our heads on the head of a penis that I forgot to go through what we probably should be going through. If you want to interact with the show, remember, write into the email pswetrust@gmail.com. You can also reach out to us on any of our socials, which are in the description of the show. That has been it for episode 68. I'm Davey.
I've been Phil.
And I've been Spencer.
Take care, guys.
Peace, 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 peace.
In PS We Trust is hosted by Davey, Phil, and Spencer. You can write into the show via our email, pswetrust@gmail.com. Our Twitter is @InPSWeTrust. To find each of us online, follow our Twitters, @SSJDavey, @PhilipHoy, @SpenPie_. Thank you for listening. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other. See ya.